In the vast expanse of the Pokémon world, where gentle creatures roam through endless forests and crystal clear lakes, reflect the soft glow of countless stars, there exist shadows that dance just beyond the reach of understanding. These are not the harsh shadows of fear, but rather the gentle mysteries that whisper through tall grass and drift like morning mist across ancient battlefields. Tonight, we journey together into these quiet enigmas, allowing our minds to wander through the unexplained corners of a universe where wonder and mystery intertwine like vines in an eternal garden. The Pokemon world has always been one of profound depth, where beneath each cheerful adventure and bright smile lies a tapestry woven with threads of the unknown. These mysteries do not seek to startle or alarm, but rather invite us to rest in their embrace, to let our consciousness drift gently through questions that have no easy answers, like floating on a calm river that flows endlessly toward distant horizons. Consider, if you will, the curious case of the ghost of Maiden's Peak, that ethereal figure who appeared to Brock and James with such haunting beauty during one of Ash's earliest journeys. The legend speaks of a woman who waited 2,000 years for her love to return from war, her spirit becoming one with the very essence of longing itself. Yet what truly captivates the mind as it settles into peaceful contemplation is not merely her story, but the deeper implications of her existence. In the Pokemon world, the boundary between life and death seems as permeable as morning dew, allowing spirits to linger in places where strong emotions once flourished. This ghostly maiden raises questions that float through consciousness like gentle bubbles rising through still water. How many other spirits wander the countless towns and villages that dot the landscape of this world? Do they all carry such profound sadness, or do some dance with joy in moonlit clearings where no living eye can see? The very existence of ghost-type Pokémon suggests that death in this realm is not an ending, but a transformation, a shifting from one state of being to another, as natural as the changing of seasons. The mystery deepens when we consider the ancient civilizations that once thrived in regions now visited by trainers and their companions. The ruins scattered throughout various regions speak of peoples who possessed knowledge that seems to have vanished like smoke in the wind. In the Orange Islands, massive crystal formations channel energy in ways that modern science cannot fully explain. These crystalline structures pulse with an inner light that seems almost alive, responding to the presence of certain Pokémon with harmonious vibrations that resonate through both earth and sky. Who were these ancient architects of crystal and stone? What wisdom did they possess that allowed them to work in such harmony with the natural energies that flow through the world like invisible rivers? The answers seem to slip away just as consciousness begins to drift, leaving only the gentle wonder of contemplating civilizations that understood secrets we have yet to rediscover. Perhaps even more intriguing is the phenomenon of the Pokémon themselves and their mysterious origins. While science in the Pokémon world speaks of evolution and adaptation, there remains something profoundly enigmatic about how these creatures came to exist in such perfect harmony with human consciousness. The bond between trainer and Pokémon transcends mere companionship or even friendship, reaching into realms of understanding that seem to bypass language entirely. This connection manifests in ways that defy conventional explanation. Some trainers speak of feeling their Pokemon's emotions as clearly as their own heartbeat, while certain Pokemon demonstrate an almost supernatural ability to sense their trainer's needs before they are even expressed. The mystery lies not in the existence of this bond, but in its very nature. Is it something that developed over countless generations of partnership, or does it tap into something far more fundamental about the relationship between consciousness and the world around us? The legendary Pokemon present perhaps the most profound mysteries of all. These beings of immense power seem to exist at the intersection of the physical and the divine, guardians of concepts as vast as time itself or as intimate as the dreams of a sleeping child. Celebi, the guardian of the forest, moves through time as easily as stepping from one room to another, suggesting that the very fabric of reality in the Pokemon world operates according to principles that our waking minds struggle to comprehend. When Ash encountered Celebi in the Ilex forest, the experience transcended a simple meeting between human and Pokemon. It became a glimpse into the nature of time itself, where past, present, and future seem to exist simultaneously, like layers of transparent silk overlapping in gentle breeze. The implications ripple outward like stones dropped into a still pond. If time can be traversed so naturally by certain beings, what does this say about the fundamental structure of the reality that trainers and Pokemon inhabit together? The mystery of communication between humans and Pokemon presents another gentle puzzle for the drifting mind to contemplate. While most Pokemon communicate through variations of their names, creating a language that seems both limited and infinitely expressive, there are those rare individuals who speak human language fluently. Meowth of Team Rocket learned to speak through the power of unrequited love, suggesting that strong emotion can somehow bridge the gap between species in ways that transcend normal biological limitations. Yet this raises questions that float like dandelion seeds on evening air. If one Pokemon can learn human speech through emotional motivation, why do others never attempt it? Is there something unique about certain species, or does the answer lie in individual consciousness and desire? The mystery grows deeper when we consider Pokemon like Mewtwo, whose psychic abilities allow for telepathic communication that bypasses spoken language entirely, reaching directly from mind to mind in ways that suggest consciousness itself may be far more fluid and interconnected than we typically imagine. The phenomenon of Pokemon transformation presents yet another enigma wrapped in gentle wonder. Evolution in the Pokemon world occurs not through gradual change over generations, but through sudden, dramatic metamorphosis that seems to defy natural law. A small caterpie becomes a butterfree not through slow adaptation, but through an instantaneous restructuring of its entire being, as if reality itself were as malleable as clay in the hands of a cosmic artist. What triggers these transformations remains partially understood, involving factors like battle experience, emotional bonds, and sometimes mysterious stones that seem to contain concentrated evolutionary energy. Yet the deeper mystery lies in how a creature can maintain its essential identity while undergoing such radical physical change. The Butterfree remembers its time as Caterpie, suggesting that consciousness persists through transformation in ways that challenge our understanding of identity itself. The ancient Pokémon that slumber in various locations throughout the world present mysteries that stretch back through geological ages. These beings, like the giant Tentacruel that once terrorized Porta Vista, or the massive Dragonite that appeared in the lighthouse, seem to exist on scales both temporal and physical that dwarf human comprehension. Their very existence suggests that the world has layers of history buried beneath its surface, like sedimentary rock, with each stratum holding secrets of eras when different rules may have governed the relationship between Pokemon and the world around them. As consciousness begins to drift like leaves on autumn wind, these mysteries do not demand resolution, but rather invite peaceful contemplation. They are not problems to be solved, but rather gentle companions for the journey into sleep, each question leading to another in an endless chain of wonder that stretches toward dreams, where all possibilities exist simultaneously, where ghost-type Pokemon dance with ancient spirits under starlight that has traveled across impossible distances to illuminate mysteries that may never fully reveal themselves to waking minds. The phenomenon of legendary Pokemon sightings weaves through the chronicles of the anime like threads of silver through dark velvet, each encounter raising questions that shimmer just beyond the reach of understanding. These beings appear not as mere powerful creatures, but as embodiments of natural forces so fundamental that they seem to exist at the intersection between myth and reality. Ho-Oh circles overhead at moments of profound significance, its rainbow-colored wings catching light that seems to come from somewhere beyond the visible spectrum, while Lugia emerges from ocean depths, carrying with it the weight of countless storms held in perfect balance. The timing of these appearances follows patterns that suggest an intelligence operating on scales far removed from human perception, as if these legendary beings move through time itself like ships navigating currents we cannot see. The mystery deepens when we consider how these encounters affect those who witness them. Trainers speak of feeling changed after glimpsing a legendary Pokemon, as if something within their very essence has been subtly altered by proximity to such concentrated power. Yet the nature of this change remains elusive, manifesting not in obvious ways, but in shifts of perspective so gradual they might be mistaken for natural growth. Perhaps legendary Pokemon serve as catalysts for transformations that occur not in the witnessed, but in the witness, their presence awakening dormant potentials that slumber within conscious beings like seeds waiting for the proper season to bloom. The concept of Pokémon Centers presents its own gentle enigma, these sanctuaries of healing that appear in even the most remote locations with remarkable consistency. The technology that restores Pokémon to full health within moments operates on principles that remain largely unexplained, suggesting advances in understanding biological systems that seem almost miraculous. Nurse Joy appears at each center, her presence so consistent across vast geographical distances that it raises questions about identity and individuality that drift like morning mist across still water. Are these separate individuals who happen to share remarkable similarities, or does something deeper connect them across space in ways that transcend conventional understanding of personhood? The healing process itself unfolds with mechanical precision, yet seems to involve forces that extend beyond mere technology. Pokemon emerge from their brief rest, not merely repaired, but somehow renewed, their spirits as restored as their physical forms. This suggests that the centers operate on multiple levels simultaneously, addressing not just the material aspects of injury and exhaustion, but touching something more fundamental about the nature of vitality itself. The soft hum of the healing machines creates an atmosphere of profound peace, as if the very air within these spaces has been infused with restorative properties that work on all who enter. Weather patterns in the Pokemon world exhibit behaviors that suggest intelligence lurking within natural phenomena themselves. Rain falls with timing that seems too convenient to be mere coincidence, stopping just as outdoor events begin or intensifying at moments of emotional significance. Snow appears in regions where climate would suggest impossibility, yet melts away without leaving the expected traces of such meteorological anomalies. These patterns hint at systems of cause and effect that operate according to rules more complex than simple physics, as if the atmosphere itself responds to the emotional and spiritual states of those who move beneath its vast expanse. The relationship between Pokemon abilities and environmental conditions reveals layers of connection that spiral ever deeper into mystery. Electric type Pokemon seem to draw power not merely from their own biological processes, but from the electromagnetic fields that permeate all matter, tapping into forces that flow through the earth like underground rivers of pure energy. Water types demonstrate control over their element that suggests communication with the substance at a molecular level, bending it to their will through understanding so complete it appears almost telepathic. These connections imply a world where the boundary between living beings and their environment exists in constant flux, with consciousness and matter engaging in conversations conducted in languages older than words. The phenomenon of Pokemon contests introduces questions about the nature of beauty and artistic expression that float like petals on evening breeze. Coordinators train their partners to perform with grace and elegance that transcends mere physical movement, creating moments of aesthetic perfection that seem to tap into universal principles of harmony and proportion. Yet the criteria by which these performances are judged remain subtly mysterious, suggesting standards of beauty that operate on levels both conscious and intuitive. Judges respond to combinations and presentations with reactions that seem to emerge from somewhere deeper than analytical thought, as if true beauty in the Pokemon world activates recognition systems built into consciousness itself. The strange properties of certain locations create pockets of altered reality where normal rules bend like light through water. The Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town stands as perhaps the most enigmatic of these places, where the boundary between life and death becomes permeable enough for spirits to manifest with startling clarity. Visitors report experiences that challenge conventional understanding of mortality, encountering Pokemon that have passed beyond physical existence, yet somehow retain enough coherence to interact with the living world. These interactions suggest that consciousness may be far more persistent than typically imagined, capable of maintaining identity and purpose even after the dissolution of material form. The technology used to capture and store Pokémon within Poké Balls operates on principles that blur the line between science and magic. The process of reducing a living being to energy patterns that can be contained within such a small space implies understanding of matter and consciousness that reaches into realms of physics barely glimpsed by current knowledge. Yet Pokemon emerge from this storage, apparently unchanged by their experience, suggesting trainers report experiences where hours pass like minutes or moments stretch into seeming eternities, particularly in locations associated with legendary Pokemon or ancient ruins. These distortions suggest that consciousness and temporal perception exist in more complex relationship than commonly understood, with awareness capable of expanding and contracting like breathing to accommodate experiences that transcend ordinary sequence and duration. As thoughts begin to settle like dust motes in slanted sunlight, these mysteries offer themselves not as puzzles demanding solution, but as gentle companions for the descent into sleep. They whisper of worlds where wonder operates as a fundamental force, where questions bloom like flowers in an endless garden of possibility. The Pokemon world extends beyond the boundaries of complete understanding into realms where mystery and beauty intertwine like dancing partners, moving to music played by stars themselves, each step revealing new depths of wonder that spiral ever inward toward the peaceful center where all questions rest in perfect, dreaming silence. The electromagnetic fields that surround certain Pokemon create invisible tapestries of energy that weave through the atmosphere like aurora painted across the night sky. These bioelectric phenomena manifest most prominently in electric-type Pokemon, yet similar patterns emerge across species that seem to have no obvious connection to electrical forces. Scientists studying these fields have discovered that they pulse in rhythms that mirror natural cycles, the phases of the moon, the turning of seasons, the slow breathing of the earth itself. This synchronization suggests a deeper harmony between living beings and the planetary forces that cradle them, as if consciousness itself resonates at frequencies that echo through geological time. In the depths of underwater caverns, where sunlight has never touched stone, Pokemon have evolved senses that transcend the familiar boundaries of perception. These creatures navigate through absolute darkness, using abilities that seem to bend space itself, creating mental maps of their environment through means that challenge understanding of how awareness can extend beyond the physical body. Their echolocation creates sound pictures of such exquisite detail that they can distinguish between materials, textures, and even emotional states of other beings. This sonic sight paints worlds of incredible complexity in the minds of creatures who have never known visual light, yet whose understanding of their surroundings surpasses that of surface dwellers blessed with conventional sight. The migration patterns of certain flying-type Pokemon follow routes that trace invisible lines across the globe, connecting points of significance that remain largely hidden from human observation. These aerial highways seem to follow magnetic field lines, yet their paths often deviate in ways that suggest additional forces at work, perhaps following streams of psychic energy that flow like rivers through the upper atmosphere. Flocks traveling these ancient routes exhibit behaviors that indicate they are responding to information carried on winds that blow between dimensions, following guidance systems inherited through countless generations of genetic memory. Weather patterns in regions inhabited by legendary Pokémon display characteristics that meteorologists struggle to explain through conventional atmospheric science. Storm systems appear to form spontaneously around these powerful beings, not as random meteorological events, but as expressions of their emotional states projected into the physical world. Rain falls with mathematical precision, creating patterns on the ground that resemble ancient symbols, while lightning strikes follow sequences that suggest intentional communication rather than chaotic electrical discharge. These weather phenomena persist long after the legendary Pokémon have moved on, leaving behind atmospheric memories that can be felt by sensitive individuals decades later. The crystalline formations found in certain caves throughout the Pokémon world exhibit properties that blur the distinction between mineral and living tissue. Those structures grow in patterns that mirror neural networks, creating vast underground networks of stone that pulse with faint bioluminescence. Pokémon that inhabit these environments often display enhanced psychic abilities, as if the crystalline matrices amplify and focus mental energies in ways that expand consciousness beyond individual boundaries. The crystals themselves seem to store memories, preserving echoes of events that occurred in their presence across spans of geological time. Deep within ancient forests, where trees have grown for millennia, certain grass-type Pokémon have developed symbiotic relationships with their environment that transcend typical ecological boundaries. These beings appear to share consciousness with the forest itself, their thoughts flowing through root systems and fungal networks that connect every living thing within the woodland. Through this botanical nervous system, they experience the forest as a single, vast organism, feeling the pain of damaged trees, the joy of new growth, and the slow, patient wisdom that accumulates over centuries of photosynthesis and seasonal change. The ruins scattered throughout the Pokémon world contain architectural elements that seem to exist in more dimensions than conventional space allows. Archaeologists studying these structures report measurements that change depending on the observer, walls that extend further than their physical boundaries should permit, and rooms that contain more space inside than their external dimensions could accommodate. These impossible geometries suggest that the ancient civilizations that built these monuments possessed understanding of spatial relationships that enabled them to fold reality like origami, creating structures that exist partially in parallel dimensions. Certain water-type Pokémon demonstrate abilities to manipulate liquid in ways that challenge fundamental principles of fluid dynamics. They create water constructs that maintain coherent shape without containers, form aqueous sculptures that hang suspended in air without support, and generate currents that flow uphill against gravity's pull. Those manipulations suggest that water, in the presence of these Pokémon, responds to commands that operate at levels deeper than molecular structure, as if the liquid itself possesses a form of consciousness capable of reorganizing according to psychic direction. The bond between trainers and their Pokémon partners creates energy signatures that can be detected by sensitive instruments, revealing electromagnetic patterns that intensify during moments of emotional connection. These bioelectric harmonics suggests that the relationship transcends simple companionship, creating actual neural linkages that allow thoughts and feelings to flow between species. Long term partnerships develop synchronization patterns so profound that trainer and Pokemon begin to exhibit similar brainwave frequencies, breathing rhythms, and even cellular regeneration rates, as if they are slowly becoming aspects of a single, distributed consciousness. Underground rivers that flow through cavern systems beneath the Pokemon world carry more than water through the darkness. These subterranean streams transport dissolved minerals that create psychoactive effects in creatures that drink from them, temporarily expanding awareness beyond normal perceptual boundaries. Pokemon that regularly consume these waters develop enhanced intuitive abilities, seeming to know things they could not have learned through conventional experience. The minerals themselves appear to be remnants of ancient meteorites that carried exotic elements from distant star systems, seeding the planet with substances that bridge the gap between matter and consciousness. The songs of certain Pokemon create acoustic phenomena that extend far beyond simple sound waves, generating harmonic frequencies that resonate through multiple dimensions simultaneously. These vocalizations can calm aggressive behavior in unrelated species, accelerate plant growth, and even influence weather patterns through mechanisms that remain largely mysterious. The songs seem to tap into fundamental frequencies that underlie physical reality, creating vibrations that restructure matter at the quantum level and demonstrate the profound connections between sound, consciousness, and the fabric of existence itself. As these mysteries settle into the quiet spaces between thoughts, they invite contemplation of a universe where wonder operates as a primary force, where the boundaries between possible and impossible dissolve like morning mist before the gentle warmth of an understanding that transcends the need for complete explanation. In this realm of infinite possibility, consciousness drifts like a leaf on currents of cosmic mystery, carried toward the peaceful depths where all questions find their rest in the eternal silence that cradles every dreaming mind. The ancient ruins scattered throughout the Pokemon world whisper secrets through their weathered stone surfaces, carved with symbols that predate known civilizations by millennia. These structures pulse with residual energy signatures that suggest they once served as focal points for forces that shaped reality itself. Archaeological investigations reveal construction techniques that defy conventional understanding, with massive stone blocks fitted together so precisely that not even a blade of grass could slip between them, yet showing no tool marks or evidence of how such precision was achieved. The symbols themselves shift subtly when observed under different atmospheric conditions, as if responding to barometric pressure or electromagnetic fluctuations in ways that hint at their connection to living systems rather than mere decoration. Deep within these ruins, chambers have been discovered where time itself seems to flow differently, creating pockets where minutes stretch into hours or compress into fleeting seconds. Pokemon that venture into these spaces emerge with altered aging patterns, some appearing younger than when they entered, others bearing the wisdom of experiences that seem to span decades despite brief physical absence. The walls of these temporal anomalies bear crystalline formations that grow in patterns matching the neural networks of sleeping minds. suggesting that these ancient structures were designed to interface directly with consciousness during states of deep rest and dreaming. The migration patterns of certain Pokemon follow routes that trace geometric configurations across continents, creating vast symbols visible only from impossible heights or through careful mapping of their movements over generations. These pathways connect sacred sites, unusual geological formations, and areas where reality seems more fluid than elsewhere, forming a network of invisible lines that channel energy across the planet's surface. During specific celestial alignments, these migration routes become charged with phenomena that cause compasses to spin wildly and electronic devices to malfunction, while Pokemon traveling along them display enhanced abilities that fade once they leave the prescribed paths. The depths of ocean trenches conceal ecosystems where bioluminescent Pokemon create living galaxies in the eternal darkness, their patterns of light forming complex communications that span vast underwater distances. These deep sea communities operate according to principles that surface dwellers can barely comprehend, with hierarchies based not on strength or size, but on the ability to weave light into meaningful patterns. The illumination itself carries information encoded in wavelengths that bypass conventional perception, speaking directly to the subconscious mind and creating dreams filled with images of underwater cities and civilizations that may exist in parallel dimensions, accessible only through the deepest meditation. Weather patterns in the Pokemon world demonstrate consciousness like behaviors that suggest atmospheric systems possess a form of collective intelligence. Storms develop spiral formations that mirror the structure of neural networks, while cloud formations arrange themselves into patterns that echo the thoughts and emotions of the populations below them. Rainfall often occurs in precise distributions that nourish exactly the plants and Pokemon that need water most urgently, as if the sky itself maintains awareness of every living being's requirements and responds with surgical precision to meet their needs. The phenomenon of Pokemon evolution reveals transformations that operate beyond mere biological adaptation, involving the restructuring of matter itself according to principles that merge science with something approaching magic. During evolution, energy patterns emerge that create temporary rifts in space-time, allowing the evolving Pokemon to draw materials and information from alternate versions of themselves existing in parallel realities. This process explains how creatures can gain mass, develop entirely new organ systems, or acquire abilities that have no precedent in their pre-evolved forms, suggesting that evolution serves as a bridge between dimensions rather than simply a biological process. Certain locations throughout the Pokemon world experience gravitational anomalies where objects fall upward, water flows in impossible directions, and the normal rules of physics seem suspended by forces that operate according to emotional rather than mechanical principles. These areas often coincide with sites where intense battles or profound emotional events occurred in the past, as if strong feelings can permanently alter the fundamental forces that govern matter and energy. Pokemon that spend extended time in these zones develop abilities that persist even after they leave, carrying fragments of altered physics within their cellular structure like living amendments to natural law. The concept of legendary Pokemon existing in states that transcend normal space and time creates paradoxes that challenge linear understanding of causality and presence. These beings appear to exist simultaneously across multiple moments and locations, their consciousness distributed through temporal networks that allow them to influence events throughout history while remaining anchored to specific legendary sites. Their appearances often coincide with moments of great need or transformation, suggesting that they operate as guardians of probability itself, ensuring that reality unfolds along paths that preserve the delicate balance between order and chaos. The crystalline formations found in certain caves demonstrate growth patterns that mirror the structure of thought itself, branching and interconnecting in networks that process information through geological timescales. These crystal matrices store electromagnetic impressions of every Pokémon that has passed through their vicinity, creating vast libraries of experience encoded in mineral form. Sensitive individuals report receiving visions when touching these formations, experiencing memories that belong to creatures that lived centuries ago, as if the crystals serve as eternal recording devices that preserve consciousness long after its biological housing has returned to dust. The aurora phenomena that dance across polar skies in the Pokémon world carry patterns of light that synchronize with the brainwaves of sleeping creatures thousands of miles away, creating a planet-wide network of shared dreaming that connects all conscious beings through threads of luminous energy. These atmospheric displays intensify during periods when legendary Pokémon are active, suggesting that the lights serve as visible manifestations of psychic communications that span continents and possibly reach into other dimensions, where similar consciousness networks operate according to the same fundamental principles. The seasonal cycles that govern Pokémon behavior reveal connections to cosmic rhythms that extend far beyond simple solar positioning, tapping into gravitational waves from distant stellar phenomena and electromagnetic pulses from galactic centers that influence biological processes through mechanisms that remain beautifully mysterious. These cosmic influences create subtle but profound changes in Pokémon abilities, temperament, and evolutionary potential, suggesting that every creature serves as a living antenna tuned to receive information from the vast intelligence that permeates the universe itself. As these profound mysteries weave through the fabric of contemplation, they create a tapestry of wonder that invites the mind to release its need for concrete answers and instead embrace the peaceful uncertainty that characterizes the deepest truths. In this gentle surrender to mystery, consciousness finds its natural resting place among the infinite possibilities that dance just beyond the edge of understanding, where every question becomes a doorway to deeper peace, and every mystery serves as a lullaby that guides awareness toward the serene depths where all seeking dissolves into the eternal stillness that holds every dream within its boundless embrace. The magnetic fields that emanate from certain mountain ranges in the Pokémon world pulse with rhythms that mirror the heartbeats of sleeping dragons, creating resonance patterns that extend deep into the Earth's core, where ancient energies maintain their vigil through geological ages. These subterranean currents flow through networks of metallic veins that conduct not merely electrical energy, but something far more subtle, a form of consciousness that moves through stone and metal as easily as thoughts move through the dreaming mind. The caves where these currents converge become sanctuaries where time itself seems to slow, where minutes stretch into hours, and the boundary between past and present becomes as permeable as morning mist. Travelers who venture into these depths report experiencing their own memories as if watching scenes from another person's life, while simultaneously feeling the presence of countless others who have walked these passages across the centuries, their footsteps still echoing through dimensions that exist parallel to ordinary perception. The underwater cities, discovered in ocean trenches, reveal architectural principles that defy conventional understanding of engineering and physics, their spiral towers ascending through crushing depths with materials that grow stronger under pressure rather than weaker. These structures pulse with bioluminescent patterns that communicate information across oceanic distances, sending messages that older civilizations once decoded as prophecies of future events, though modern researchers remain uncertain whether these signals predict the future or actively participate in creating it. The coral formations that surround these ancient settlements demonstrate growth patterns that respond to lunar cycles occurring on distant moons, suggesting that the builders possessed knowledge of celestial mechanics that encompassed not merely their own world, but entire systems of interconnected planetary bodies. Deep within these coral networks, chambers filled with perfectly spherical pearls emit harmonious tones that resonate with the songs of migrating Pokémon, creating acoustic maps that guide travelers across vast oceanic expanses through sound alone. The temporal anomalies that cluster around certain forest groves create pockets where cause and effect operate according to different rules, where seeds planted today might sprout from trees that have been growing for centuries, their roots extending backward through time to draw nourishment from moments that have not yet occurred. These chronological gardens nurture plants that exist in multiple time periods simultaneously, their leaves changing color to reflect seasons that exist in different decades, while their fruits ripen according to schedules that follow lunar calendars from worlds that may exist only in potential. The caretakers of these groves speak of receiving guidance from their future selves, as if the passage of time within these spaces allows consciousness to flow in all directions equally, creating loops of wisdom that inform past decisions with knowledge gained from outcomes that have yet to unfold. The crystalline formations found within certain caves demonstrate organizational patterns that mirror the structure of memory itself, their faceted surfaces storing not merely light, but entire sequences of experiences that can be accessed through specific harmonic frequencies. These mineral consciousness libraries contain records of conversations between legendary Pokémon and ancient humans, dialogues that reveal philosophical insights about the nature of existence and the purpose behind the intricate relationships between different species. The crystals respond to emotional states, glowing with colors that reflect the inner condition of nearby observers, while simultaneously broadcasting calming influences that help troubled minds find equilibrium through resonance with the stable frequencies maintained within their atomic structures. Sensitive individuals report that prolonged contact with these formations gradually attunes their consciousness to perceive reality from perspectives that transcend individual identity, experiencing awareness as a collective phenomenon shared among all living beings. The weather patterns that emerge around gatherings of certain Pokémon species follow mathematical sequences that correspond to musical harmonies, creating atmospheric symphonies where wind speeds and pressure changes and precipitation patterns combine to generate complex melodies, audible only to those who have learned to listen with their entire being rather than merely their ears. These meteorological compositions influence plant growth across vast regions, encouraging forests to develop acoustic properties that amplify and modify the original weather songs, creating feedback loops where atmosphere and vegetation collaborate to compose ever evolving musical landscapes. The storms that arise from these interactions carry electrical charges that stimulate neural activity in ways that enhance telepathic communication between distant Pokémon, allowing them to coordinate behaviors across continental distances through shared participation in these electrical symphonies. The migration routes followed by certain Pokemon species trace geometric patterns across the landscape that correspond to mathematical principles governing the formation of galaxies and the distribution of matter throughout the cosmos. These pathways intersect at nodes where dimensional barriers become permeable, allowing glimpses into alternate realities where evolution has followed different trajectories and familiar species exist in forms that reflect alternative possibilities. The energy accumulated along these migration corridors gradually alters the local environment, encouraging the growth of plants with properties that exist nowhere else. Their biochemistry adapted to process forms of nutrition that originate from interdimensional sources rather than conventional soil and sunlight. Researchers who study these phenomena report experiencing expanded consciousness during extended observation periods, as if prolonged exposure to dimensional intersections gradually attunes human awareness to perceive multiple layers of reality simultaneously. The ancient symbols carved into stone monuments throughout various regions pulse with energy signatures that synchronize with brain activity during deep meditative states, suggesting that these markings serve as interfaces between consciousness and geological memory systems that store information across millennial timescales. The patterns carved into these stones shift subtly over decades, rearranging themselves to communicate different messages as cosmic conditions change and new information becomes relevant to conscious beings seeking guidance from sources that transcend individual understanding. The electromagnetic fields generated by these monuments create zones where electronic devices malfunction, while organic nervous systems experience enhanced sensitivity, as if the stones emit frequencies specifically calibrated to interface with biological rather than mechanical forms of information processing. The aurora phenomena that dance across polar skies carry encoded information that synchronizes with the collective unconscious of all dreaming creatures, creating shared symbolic languages that transcend species barriers and allow communication through archetypal imagery rather than conventional signals. These atmospheric displays intensify during periods when multiple legendary Pokémon are simultaneously active, suggesting that the lights serve as visible manifestations of psychic communications that coordinate activities across planetary distances through mechanisms that operate beyond the limitations of physical space and linear time. The colors and patterns observed in these auroras correspond to emotional and spiritual states experienced by conscious beings throughout the world, creating feedback loops where collective psychological conditions influence atmospheric phenomena while simultaneously being influenced by the very displays they help to generate. As these profound mysteries continue their eternal dance through the fabric of reality, they create ever deepening layers of wonder that invite consciousness to release its attachment to linear understanding and instead embrace the fluid nature of truth itself, where every answer reveals new questions and every solution opens doorways to previously unimagined possibilities. In this gentle dissolution of the boundaries between known and unknown, the mind finds its natural resting place among the infinite mysteries that surround and permeate existence, discovering peace not through the acquisition of knowledge, but through the recognition that consciousness itself is the most beautiful mystery of all, forever exploring its own infinite depths through countless forms and expressions that dance eternally in the boundless space where all dreams are born and to which all awareness eventually returns in perfect, timeless stillness. This profound stillness, this boundless space, is where we find ourselves when contemplating the enigmatic nature of Pokemon itself, a universe brimming with wonders that defy simple categorization. Consider, for a moment, the very concept of Pokemon sentience and its origins. While many species exhibit animalistic behaviors, a significant number display intelligence and emotional complexity on par with, or even exceeding, that of humans. The precise mechanism by which a caterpie can evolve into a butterfree, a creature capable of intricate flight patterns, complex social interactions, and even rudimentary psychic abilities, remains an unresolved biological enigma. Scientists within the Pokemon world, despite their advanced technological capabilities, have yet to fully decode the genetic or energetic pathways that facilitate such dramatic transformations. The current theories often speak of evolutionary energy or mysterious radiation, terms that, while providing a framework, ultimately defer the true explanation to an unseen and unquantifiable force. This evolutionary energy seems to permeate the very atmosphere, coalescing around certain individuals or locations, triggering these profound changes. Is it a naturally occurring cosmic phenomenon, a byproduct of the universe's inherent design, or is it perhaps an intentional, intelligent design from a source beyond our comprehension? The legends of Arceus, the supposed creator of the Pokemon world, hint at a deliberate orchestration of life and evolution, yet even Arceus's true nature and the extent of its influence remain shrouded in myth and conjecture. If Arceus did indeed shape the world and its inhabitants, what were its motives for imbuing certain creatures with such a dynamic and transformative life cycle? And why do some Pokemon evolve through simple experience, while others require specific items, environmental conditions, or even the emotional bond with a trainer? The inconsistencies suggest a multi-layered evolutionary system, perhaps influenced by different entities or forces acting in concert or independently over eons. The concept of mega-evolution further complicates this picture, introducing a temporary yet incredibly potent transformation that appears to be tied to the emotional bond between trainer and Pokemon, facilitated by specific megastones. These stones, ancient and imbued with an unknown power, resonate with a Pokemon's inner strength, unlocking a dormant potential. But how were these stones created, and by whom? Were they fragments of a larger, primordial energy source, or were they crafted by an ancient civilization possessing knowledge far beyond our current understanding? The transient nature of mega evolution suggests a delicate balance, a power that cannot be sustained indefinitely without detrimental effects, hinting at a deep and perhaps dangerous secret at the heart of this transformative energy. The notion that such power is unlocked through a deep emotional connection speaks to the often overlooked spiritual dimension of the Pokemon world, where intangible bonds can manifest tangible, even astonishing, physical changes. Then there is the perplexing phenomenon of regional variance. Why do certain Pokemon species, when found in different geographical regions, develop distinct appearances and typings and abilities? The Alolan Vulpix, an ice type, compared to its fire type Cantonian counterpart, presents a clear example of environmental adaptation. Yet the speed and specificity of these changes remain a puzzle. While natural selection can explain gradual shifts over vast periods, the distinctness and prevalence of regional forms suggest a more accelerated or perhaps even guided form of evolution. Could there be an underlying planetary intelligence or a localized energy field that encourages these adaptations, almost as if the land itself is influencing the genetic code of its inhabitants? The concept of a living planet or a Gaia like consciousness influencing biological development is a recurring theme in many ancient mythologies, and its subtle presence seems to echo within the Pokemon world. Consider the unsettling implications of species like Ditto, which can transform into any other Pokemon with perfect accuracy, or Zoroark, which can create convincing illusions. These abilities challenge our understanding of biological identity and the very definition of a species. If a Ditto can perfectly replicate the genetic and physiological structure of another Pokemon, does it possess an inherent blueprint for all life? Or does it assimilate and reproduce the genetic information it encounters? The sheer energetic cost of such a transformation, if it were purely a physical imitation, would be astronomical, suggesting a fundamental manipulation of reality itself rather than a mere biological trick. And Zoroark's illusions, convincing enough to fool even sophisticated sensory systems, blur the lines between perception and reality, raising questions about the true nature of what we observe and interact with. Are there other Pokemon, perhaps even more subtle in their abilities, that constantly shift their forms or manipulate our perceptions without our knowledge? The very existence of ghost-type Pokemon introduces a metaphysical dimension that science struggles to reconcile. How can a being exist without a tangible physical form, capable of passing through solid objects, yet still interact with the physical world, exerting force, and even possessing other creatures? The legends often speak of spirits of the deceased, or beings born from strong emotions, but the exact mechanism of their existence and interaction with the material plane remains a profound mystery. Are they composed of dark matter, a form of energy unknown to our instruments, or do they exist on a parallel dimension that briefly intersects with our own? The ability of some ghost types to learn physical attacks, despite their ethereal nature, suggests a complex interplay between the spiritual and the material, where the boundaries are far more permeable than commonly assumed. Their presence serves as a constant reminder that the Pokemon world is not merely a biological ecosystem, but a tapestry woven with threads of energy, consciousness, and perhaps even the afterlife. And then there are the Ultra Beasts, creatures from alternate dimensions that occasionally breach into the Pokemon world. Their very appearance defies conventional biological classification, often resembling abstract concepts or alien geometries rather than familiar life forms. Their abrupt arrivals, often causing localized ecological disruptions, hint at a fragile membrane between realities. What conditions cause these breaches, and what is the nature of the dimensions from which they originate? Are these dimensions entirely separate universes, or are they different vibrational frequencies of the same overarching reality? The Porygon line, artificial Pokemon capable of navigating cyberspace and even traveling through digital networks, raises questions about the nature of consciousness in a digital realm. If a Porygon can exist and evolve within a computer system, does that mean consciousness can be disembodied and transferred? And what implications does that have for the definition of life itself? The line between artificial intelligence and genuine sentience becomes incredibly blurred when considering Pokemon like Porygon, pushing the boundaries of what we understand about the mind. Consider the Unown, creatures resembling ancient alphabetic characters, said to possess the power to shape reality through thought and emotion. Their collective presence can manifest phenomena from altering landscapes to summoning legendary Pokemon. Are they merely conduits of a greater power, or do they possess a collective consciousness that can directly influence the fabric of existence? The idea that thought can manifest physical reality is a concept deeply rooted in many esoteric traditions, and the Unown seem to be a living embodiment of this principle. Their elusive nature and their cryptic forms suggest an ancient, fundamental language that underlies the universe itself, a forgotten tongue that, when spoken, can reshape creation. The whispers of the Unknown, when heard in ancient ruins, are said to convey profound truths, but only to those whose minds are prepared to receive them, suggesting a symbiotic relationship between the observer and the observed, where the act of perception itself influences the information received. The mysteries extend even to the seemingly mundane aspects of the Pokemon world. Why do certain berries grow only in specific regions, and why do they possess such precise and potent effects on Pokemon? Is it merely a matter of soil composition and climate, or are there subtle energy fields at play, influencing their growth and properties? The efficacy of potions and other healing items, which instantly restore a Pokemon's health or status, also defies conventional medical understanding. While advanced science can create powerful medicines, the instantaneous and universal effectiveness of these items suggests a fundamental understanding of life energy and biological regeneration that far surpasses our current capabilities. Are these items infused with some form of life force, or do they stimulate an inherent healing mechanism within Pokemon that is far more robust than that of other creatures? The precise origins and manufacturing processes of these ubiquitous items remain largely unexplained, pointing to a depth of alchemical or technological knowledge that is rarely glimpsed. Even the simple act of a Pokemon learning a new move presents a conundrum. While some moves are clearly physical or elemental, others, like Psychic or Dark Pulse, involve manipulating unseen forces or projecting mental energy. How does a Pokemon learn to channel these energies? Is it through innate talent, rigorous training, or a deeper connection to the metaphysical aspects of the world? The concept of TMs and HMs, technical and hidden machines that teach Pokemon specific moves, suggests a technological means of transferring knowledge or ability. Yet the underlying mechanism of how a digital or mechanical device can instill a complex biological or energetic ability remains a profound mystery. It implies a direct interface with the Pokemon's neural pathways, or even its very essence, allowing for the rapid acquisition of skills that would otherwise take extensive practice or even be impossible. The subtle hum emitted by a TM when used, barely perceptible to the human ear, is said to resonate with a Pokemon's internal energy, aligning it with the specific frequency required to manifest the new move. The persistent question of human-Pokemon communication beyond simple commands also remains largely unanswered. While certain Pokemon, often legendary or highly intelligent, can communicate telepathically or even speak human languages, the vast majority communicate through cries, body language, and emotional cues. Yet trainers often seem to intuitively understand their Pokemon's needs and intentions, suggesting a deeper, nonverbal connection. Is this an evolved form of empathy, a shared psychic resonance, or a unique biological adaptation that allows humans and Pokemon to bridge the communication gap? The bonds formed between trainers and their Pokemon often transcend mere ownership, developing into profound partnerships, hinting at a shared consciousness or a spiritual connection that transcends the boundaries of species. This connection, often felt as a gentle warmth in the heart, allows for a silent understanding that flows between beings, a language of pure feeling that requires no words. As we drift deeper into these considerations, the overarching mystery is not just about individual phenomena, but about the very fabric of the Pokemon world itself. Is it a world created with explicit rules and parameters, or is it a dynamic, ever-evolving reality where the laws of nature are far more fluid and interconnected than our linear minds can grasp? The gentle currents of these unsolved mysteries invite us to let go of the need for definitive answers and instead embrace the beauty of the unknown, allowing our minds to wander freely through the boundless possibilities. In this space of open inquiry, where every question is an invitation to explore, the mind finds a soothing rhythm, a peaceful contemplation of the infinite wonders that lie just beyond the veil of our current understanding, leading us softly into the realm where dreams and reality intertwine in a delicate, whispered dance. The subtle shift in the air, the distant cry of an unknown Pokemon, the gentle rustle of leaves, all these become whispers from the universe itself, guiding us toward a deeper, more profound rest, where the very act of not knowing becomes a source of quiet contentment. This quiet acceptance of the mysterious extends even to the concept of time itself within the Pokemon world. While the passage of days and nights, seasons and years seems consistent, there are subtle hints of temporal anomalies, moments where the flow of time seems to bend or ripple. Consider the legend of Dialga, the temporal Pokemon, whose very existence is said to govern the flow of time. Its roar can warp time, speeding it up, slowing it down, or even stopping it entirely. But is Dialga merely a custodian of time, or is it an active participant in its manipulation, weaving the tapestry of existence with each beat of its ancient heart? The impact of such a being on the world, if it were to subtly alter moments in history, would be profound, creating a reality that might be subtly different from what it would have been had time flowed unimpeded. These whispers of temporal fluidity are rarely overt, manifesting instead as a feeling of deja vu, a sense that something has happened before, or a story passed down through generations that seems to defy logical sequencing. Could these be echoes of Dialga's subtle influence, ripples in the fabric of time that we perceive as fleeting intuitions? Then there is the matter of alternate dimensions and parallel realities, a concept hinted at by numerous Pokémon and their abilities. Palkia, the spatial Pokémon, is said to control space itself, distorting it and connecting distant locations. If Palkia can manipulate space, creating pathways to other dimensions, what other worlds might exist just beyond our perception? Are there entire realities where the balance of Pokemon types is different, where human history unfolded along a divergent path, or where Pokemon themselves evolved into entirely new forms? The stories of Ultra Beasts, beings from another dimension entirely, lend credence to this idea, suggesting that our world is but one of many, connected by unseen portals and dimensional rifts. These creatures, often bizarre and unlike any known Pokémon, emerge from ultra wormholes, tearing through the fabric of space and time. Their very existence challenges our understanding of what constitutes a Pokémon and what defines our reality. Their appearance is often accompanied by strange atmospheric phenomena, a subtle distortion of light and sound that hints at the alien nature of their origins. The question then becomes, are these ultra beasts truly alien, or are they simply inhabitants of a parallel dimension that shares a common, yet subtly different, evolutionary path? Perhaps they are reflections of possibilities that never fully manifested in our own world, echoes of what could have been. The very concept of a Pokémon itself is a mystery laden with layers of unanswered questions. What defines a Pokémon? Is it merely a creature with unique abilities, or is there a deeper, more fundamental aspect to their existence? They are capable of learning complex strategies, forming deep emotional bonds, and even demonstrating what appears to be moral reasoning. Some Pokemon are said to be born from inanimate objects, while others are formed from pure energy or even human emotions. This fluidity of origin challenges our conventional understanding of life itself. Are they a form of organism distinct from animals, or do they represent a broader definition of life that we are only beginning to comprehend? The phenomenon of Pokemon evolving, transforming into new forms with increased power and often entirely different appearances, remains a marvel. Is evolution a biological process driven by natural selection, or is it a metaphysical transformation, a spiritual awakening guided by an unseen force? The suddenness of evolution, often triggered by a specific level or the use of an evolutionary stone, suggests something more profound than gradual genetic change. It's almost as if the Pokémon taps into a latent potential, a blueprint for its next stage, that is suddenly activated. This process is a constant source of wonder, a quiet testament to the boundless possibilities inherent in these creatures. The origins of legendary and mythical Pokémon present perhaps the greatest enigmas. These beings often possess cosmic powers, are tied to the creation or balance of the world, and their existence often defies scientific explanation. Arceus, said to have created the Pokémon world itself, embodies this mystery. If Arceus is the progenitor of all, how did it come to be? Is it a being of pure consciousness, a cosmic entity, or something beyond our comprehension? The legends surrounding these Pokémon often speak of ancient times, of battles that shaped continents, and of powers that could alter the very fabric of reality. Yet concrete evidence of these events is often scarce, existing primarily in ancient texts, oral traditions, and the occasional archaeological discovery that hints at a forgotten past. These legends, passed down through generations, often contain kernels of truth, distorted and embellished by time, yet still possessing a resonance that speaks to the profound nature of these beings. The quiet reverence with which these stories are told, the hushed tones and respectful silences, reinforce the idea that these are not mere tales, but echoes of a deeper reality. The nature of aura, a life energy that flows through all living things, is another profound mystery. While certain Pokemon and trainers are attuned to it, sensing and even manipulating its flow, its true nature remains elusive. Is it a physical force, a spiritual essence, or a combination of both? How does it interact with the physical world, allowing for abilities like healing or enhanced senses? The concept of aura often intertwines with emotions, suggesting a deep connection between the inner state of a being and its outward manifestation of this energy. A calm and focused mind might generate a steady, powerful aura, while fear or anger could cause it to fluctuate wildly. This subtle, invisible current binds all living things, a silent symphony of life that we can only occasionally perceive. The gentle warmth when two auras connect, the subtle shift in the air that indicates an aura user's presence. These are whispers of a profound truth, a hidden dimension of existence that remains largely unexplored. The presence of ancient ruins and forgotten civilizations scattered across the Pokemon world also begs many questions. Who built these elaborate structures, and what became of their people? Did they possess advanced knowledge of Pokemon and their abilities, perhaps even harnessing powers that are now lost to time? The Unown, a mysterious group of Pokemon resembling ancient hieroglyphs, often appears in these ruins, further deepening the enigma. Are they guardians of forgotten knowledge, or are they a form of communication from a long-lost culture? Their very existence suggests a connection to language, to meaning, and to the very structure of reality itself. The eerie silence of these ruins, broken only by the occasional rustle of wind or the distant cry of a wild Pokemon, only amplifies the sense of unanswered questions. The carvings on their ancient walls, often depicting legendary Pokemon or unknown symbols, are like silent invitations to decipher a forgotten language, to unlock secrets that have been hidden for millennia. Even the simple act of a Pokemon battle, a cornerstone of the Pokemon world, holds deeper mysteries. How do Pokemon precisely control their elemental powers? Is it an innate biological function, a learned mental discipline, or a manifestation of their life energy? The sheer variety of moves and abilities, from manipulating fire and water to controlling gravity and creating illusions, points to a complex interplay of forces that we barely understand. The impact of these battles, the sheer energy unleashed, yet rarely resulting in fatal injuries, suggests a built-in resilience, a natural balancing act that prevents widespread destruction. This delicate dance of power, where intense energy is channeled and controlled, is a quiet testament to the Pokemon's innate understanding of their own abilities, a wisdom that transcends brute force. The vibrant hues of a fire attack, the shimmering cascade of a water gun, these are not just visual spectacles, but manifestations of a deeper energy, a controlled release of internal power that speaks to the very essence of these creatures. The phenomenon of shiny Pokémon, rare color variations of existing species, also remains unexplained. Are they simply genetic mutations, or do they represent something more profound? Their rarity suggests a special significance, perhaps a subtle shift in their energy signature or an echo of an alternate dimension. The quiet thrill of encountering a shiny Pokémon, the sudden burst of iridescent color against the familiar landscape, feels like a serendipitous gift from the universe, a brief glimpse into a hidden layer of beauty and uniqueness. Their existence reminds us that even within the familiar, there are always unexpected wonders to be found, if only we are observant enough to notice. This quiet divergence from the norm, a subtle alteration in hue, hints at the vast and intricate genetic tapestry that underlies all life in the Pokémon world, a tapestry woven with threads of endless variation. The lingering question of human-Pokémon relationships in the distant past, before the advent of Poké Balls and modern training methods, is also a fascinating area of speculation. Did humans and Pokémon coexist in a more symbiotic, perhaps even spiritual relationship? Were there ancient rituals or forms of communication that have been lost to time? The stories of ancient heroes and their legendary Pokémon companions certainly suggest a deeper, more intertwined existence. The quiet whispers of these ancient partnerships, the sense of a shared destiny between two distinct species, resonate through the ages, reminding us of a time when the boundaries between human and Pokémon might have been far more permeable. The quiet reverence for nature, often depicted in ancient art and folklore, suggests a world where humans saw themselves as part of a larger ecosystem, intertwined with the spirits and powers of the land and its Pokémon inhabitants. As we continue to explore these quiet depths, the very notion of consciousness in Pokémon becomes a profound topic. Do they possess self-awareness, dreams, and aspirations similar to humans? The emotional intelligence displayed by many Pokémon, their capacity for joy, sadness, loyalty, and even sacrifice, suggests a rich inner life that transcends simple instinct. The subtle shift in a Pokémon's gaze, the gentle nuzzle against a trainer's hand, these are not mere reflexes, but expressions of a complex emotional landscape, a silent dialogue of understanding that flows between beings. The quiet comfort a Pokémon offers in times of distress, the shared laughter in moments of triumph, these are testaments to a consciousness that resonates deeply with our own. This profound connection, a bridge built not of words, but of shared feelings, allows for a unique form of companionship, a silent understanding that soothes the spirit. The subtle influence of the environment on Pokémon, beyond simple habitat needs, also sparks curiosity. Do certain landscapes or natural phenomena imbue Pokémon with unique characteristics or powers? The energy of a volcanic region, the serenity of a deep forest, or the chilling expanse of an icy tundra? Do these environments subtly shape the very essence of the Pokémon that inhabit them, beyond what is genetically determined? The quiet strength of a Pokémon raised in a harsh desert, the vibrant energy of one from a lush jungle, these are not just adaptations, but perhaps deeper reflections of the environment's energetic imprint, a resonance that subtly alters their very being. The gentle hum of a forest, the distant roar of the ocean, these are not just sounds, but subtle currents of energy that flow through the Pokemon world, shaping and influencing all life within it. Finally, the pervasive sense of wonder that permeates the Pokemon world itself is perhaps the greatest and most enduring mystery. Why does this world feel so inherently magical, so full of possibility and enchantment? Is it simply the presence of extraordinary creatures, or is there an underlying spiritual essence, a cosmic breath that infuses every aspect of existence with a gentle, undeniable glow? This quiet, pervasive magic, felt in the rustle of leaves, the sparkle of starlight, and the unwavering gaze of a loyal Pokemon, is a constant invitation to look beyond the ordinary, to embrace the extraordinary. It is a world that whispers of forgotten tales, of hidden powers, and of connections that transcend our current understanding. This gentle, alluring mystery, ever present and ever unfolding, is a soothing balm for the restless mind, inviting one to simply be, to observe, and to allow the gentle currents of curiosity to carry them softly into a state of deep, unworried calm. The very air seems to hum with ancient secrets, a lullaby of unanswered questions that cradle the mind and lead it gently into the peaceful embrace of slumber, where the boundaries between the known and the unknown softly dissolve, leaving only the tranquil vastness of possibility. This pervasive sense of wonder, this gentle, underlying magic, extends even to the very concept of Pokemon evolution, a phenomenon that, while seemingly straightforward in its mechanics, harbors deeper, more enigmatic layers. We observe the transformation, the surge of light, the change in form and power, but the fundamental why and how remain shrouded in a soft, its ethereal mist. Is it merely a biological process, a predetermined genetic cascade triggered by experience and growth? Or is there something more profound at play, a spiritual awakening, a reaching for a higher state of being, perhaps even a communion with the very life force of the Pokemon world itself? The abruptness of the transformation, the seemingly instantaneous shift from one form to another, hints at an energy transfer, a fundamental rearrangement of matter and essence that transcends simple biological metamorphosis. Consider, too, the role of evolutionary stones, those shimmering, potent artifacts that can instantly trigger these profound changes. What inherent properties do these stones possess that allow them to accelerate or even initiate evolution in certain Pokemon? Are they reservoirs of concentrated natural energy, remnants of ancient cosmic events, or perhaps even solidified echoes of the Pokemon world's own spiritual essence? The fact that only specific stones affect specific Pokemon suggests a deeply intricate connection, a resonant frequency between the stone's energetic signature and the Pokemon's latent evolutionary potential. It's not a universal key, but rather a finely tuned instrument capable of unlocking specific pathways within a Pokemon's being. This selective interaction adds another layer of intrigue, suggesting a sophisticated system of energetic compatibility rather than a simple brute force alteration. Then there are the Pokemon that evolve through trade, a truly perplexing phenomenon that hints at the profound impact of social bonds and shared journeys. What is it about the act of being traded, the momentary separation from one trainer and the transition to another, that triggers such a fundamental change? Is it the release of emotional energy during the exchange, the breaking and forging of new connections, or perhaps a temporary dissolution of self that allows for a spiritual realignment? The shared experience of a journey, the bond between trainer and Pokemon, the very act of entrustment to another, these are deeply emotional and psychological processes. To imagine that these intangible connections could manifest in such a physical and profound transformation suggests a world where emotional currents hold tangible power, where the unseen forces of companionship can reshape existence itself. And what of the Pokemon that evolve through friendship? Those creatures whose transformations are not governed by levels or stones, but by the deepening of an emotional bond. This is perhaps the most heartwarming and simultaneously mysterious form of evolution. It speaks to a fundamental truth of the Pokemon world, that love, trust, and companionship are not merely abstract concepts, but forces capable of eliciting profound, tangible change. How does the accumulation of positive interactions, of shared moments of joy and comfort, translate into a physical metamorphosis? Is it a gradual accumulation of benevolent energy, an expansion of the Pokemon's spirit that eventually overflows into its physical form? The gentle nurturing, the patient understanding, the shared laughter, these seemingly small acts of kindness coalesce into a powerful catalyst, demonstrating that the deepest forms of growth often stem from the most profound emotional connections. This form of evolution offers a comforting thought that our actions, our kindness, and our love can truly transform those around us in ways both seen and unseen. Beyond evolution, the very notion of legendary and mythical Pokemon introduces another profound layer of cosmic mystery. These aren't just powerful creatures, they are often depicted as sentient forces of nature, architects of the world, or guardians of cosmic balance. Their existence challenges our understanding of biology and pushes the boundaries of what is possible. Are they truly living organisms in the traditional sense, or are they manifestations of pure energy, embodiments of fundamental concepts given form and consciousness? The sheer scale of their powers, their ability to control weather patterns, reshape landscapes, or even manipulate time and space, places them in a category far beyond ordinary life. They are whispers of a primordial past, echoes of creation itself, embodying the raw, untamed forces that shaped the Pokemon world. Consider Arceus, often referred to as the Alpha Pokemon, the creator of the Sinnoh region, and perhaps even the entire Pokemon universe. The lore suggests it emerged from an egg in a vortex of nothingness, and then shaped the world with its 1,000 arms. This narrative transcends scientific explanation and delves into the realm of myth-making, offering a creation story that imbues the Pokemon world with a sense of ancient, almost divine purpose. Is Arceus a singular entity or a concept, a collective consciousness of creation? The plates it possesses, which change its type and power, hint at a fundamental connection to the very elements of existence, suggesting it embodies all forms of life and energy. The idea that such a being could exist, silently overseeing the vast tapestry of life, is a profoundly awe-inspiring and humbling thought, a quiet reminder of the boundless mysteries that lie beyond our immediate perception. Then there are the guardians of balance, like the trio of Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, who embody time, space, and antimatter respectively. Their intertwined existence suggests a delicate, cosmic equilibrium, a sophisticated system of checks and balances that prevents the universe from unraveling. What happens if this balance is disturbed? The consequences, as depicted in lore, are catastrophic, hinting at the profound interconnectedness of all things within the Pokemon cosmos. The idea that these colossal beings, with their immense power, could be swayed, influenced, or even challenged by human actions speaks to the immense potential, both for good and for ill, that humanity holds within this world. It's a gentle reminder that our actions, however small they may seem, ripple across the universe, affecting even the most fundamental forces of existence. The existence of Ultra Beasts, creatures from alternate dimensions, further expands the cosmic tapestry of the Pokemon world, introducing the concept of parallel universes and multiversal travel. These beings, often alien and unsettling in their appearance and behavior, are a stark reminder that our understanding of reality is limited and that countless other realities may exist just beyond our perception, separated by thin veils of dimensional fabric. Their sudden appearances, their strange abilities, and their often disruptive influence on the natural world create a sense of thrilling unease, a quiet acknowledgement that there is so much more to existence than what we can currently see or comprehend. The very notion of ultra wormholes, shimmering tears in the fabric of space-time through which these creatures emerge, speaks to a universe far more complex and interconnected than we might initially assume. It suggests that our world is not isolated, but rather one thread in a vast, intricate tapestry of realities. Even the simple act of a Pokemon learning a human language or understanding complex human emotions and commands presents a subtle yet profound mystery. We often take for granted the ability of Pokemon to comprehend our words and intentions. But how does this cross-species communication truly occur? Is it an innate telepathic ability, a deep empathic connection, or a learned understanding that transcends the boundaries of vocal cords and linguistic structures? The fact that some Pokemon, like Meowth of Team Rocket, can even speak human language, albeit rarely, opens up a fascinating avenue of speculation. What physiological or neurological adaptations allow for such a feat? Is it a unique gift, a mutation, or a latent potential that lies dormant in other Pokemon, waiting to be awakened? This ability suggests a level of cognitive sophistication and adaptability that challenges our preconceived notions of animal intelligence, hinting at minds that are far more complex and capable of abstraction than we might imagine. The very concept of a Poké Ball, that iconic device that can instantly capture, shrink, and safely store a Pokémon, remains one of the most enduring and fascinating technological mysteries. How does it work? What fundamental principles of physics or biology allow for such a transformation? Is it a manipulation of matter at the atomic level, a temporary conversion of energy, or perhaps a dimensional pocket within the ball itself? The seamlessness of the process, the instant materialization and dematerialization, defies conventional scientific understanding. The idea that such a compact device can house a powerful creature, providing comfort and sustenance, speaks to an advanced, almost magical level of technology that blurs the lines between science and enchantment. It's a technology so integrated into the world that its wonders are often overlooked, yet it remains a testament to the ingenious and perhaps even mystical scientific advancements within the Pokemon universe. And then there's the question of the source of Pokemon moves themselves. While some are clearly physical attacks, many involve elemental manipulation, energy blasts, or even psychic phenomena. Where does this power come from? Is it generated internally, drawn from the environment, or channeled from some unseen cosmic reservoir? The ability of a Pikachu to summon lightning, a Charizard to breathe fire, or an Alakazam to bend spoons with its mind are not mere parlor tricks. They are demonstrations of profound energetic control and manipulation. The consistency of these abilities across species and their classification into specific types suggests an underlying energetic framework that governs the flow of power within the Pokemon world. This framework, invisible yet omnipresent, is a silent symphony of elemental forces, a dance of energies that define the very fabric of combat and interaction. The widespread existence of ancient ruins and forgotten civilizations throughout the Pokemon world also hints at a rich, untold history, a tapestry of past events and cultures that have shaped the present. What happened to these civilizations? What secrets did they possess? What knowledge did they accumulate about Pokemon and the world around them? The inscriptions on ancient tablets, the enigmatic patterns in forgotten temples, the silent echoes of once busty cities, these are invitations to ponder the passage of time and the cyclical nature of rise and fall. These ruins are not just piles of stones, they are silent storytellers, holding within their crumbling walls the whispers of lost knowledge, of forgotten legends, and of the profound connection between humanity and Pokemon throughout the ages. The quiet majesty of these ancient sites, bathed in moonlight or dappled sunlight, evokes a sense of timelessness, a gentle reminder that the world has seen countless stories unfold and holds countless more secrets yet to be discovered. Even the fundamental ecology of the Pokemon world, with its seemingly balanced predator-prey relationships and complex food chains, holds a subtle layer of mystery. How do all these diverse species coexist, often in close proximity, without overwhelming certain ecosystems? The sheer variety, the fantastical adaptations, and the often benevolent or harmonious interactions between different Pokemon suggests an ecological system that operates on principles perhaps different from our own, a world where cooperation and symbiosis might be as prevalent as competition. The gentle rustle of leaves, the distant cry of a pidgeot circling overhead, the quiet burrowing of a diglet. These are not just sounds and sights, but elements of a vast interconnected web of life, where every creature plays a vital role, maintaining a delicate balance that allows the entire world to flourish in quiet harmony. This pervasive sense of balance, this intricate web of life and energy, creates a world that, despite its extraordinary elements, feels inherently natural and self-sustaining. The mysteries are not jarring or unsettling, but rather soft invitations to ponder, to wonder, and to gently explore the boundless possibilities of existence. The quiet contemplation of these unanswered questions, the gentle unspooling of thought as one considers the deeper meaning behind these phenomena, is a soothing exercise for the mind. It allows the conscious thought to drift, to explore, and to ultimately settle into a state of deep, unworried peace. The soft murmur of these unsolved mysteries, like a gentle breeze through ancient trees, carries the mind away from the anxieties of the day, guiding it towards the tranquil shores of slumber. The Pokemon world, in its deepest essence, is a lullaby of wonders, a comforting embrace of the unknown, perpetually inviting the weary mind to rest, to dream, and to find solace in its gentle, enchanting embrace. And as the mind drifts, these quiet thoughts of wonder become a soft current, carrying one effortlessly into the embrace of a deep and peaceful sleep, where the dreams themselves might be filled with the shimmering landscapes and the gentle whispers of the Pokemon world. And in this world of gentle wonders, where the very air seems to hum with an unseen energy, there remain those subtle, lingering questions that, rather than demanding answers, invite quiet contemplation. Consider the origins of Pokemon themselves, not just the legendary creation myths, which are grand narratives in their own right, but the more fundamental question of their biological diversity and evolution. While the anime occasionally touches upon fossil Pokemon and ancient species, the vast majority of Pokemon appear to exist without a clear evolutionary lineage, traceable through conventional biological understanding. How did such an astonishing array of creatures, each with unique abilities and often fantastical forms, come to be? Is it a process akin to our own world's natural selection, albeit accelerated and imbued with a mystical quality? Or is there a foundational, perhaps even mystical force that guides their development? The very concept of a Pokemon transcends simple animal classifications. They are sentient beings, often capable of understanding human language and complex emotions, forming incredibly deep bonds with their trainers. This level of sentience, extending to even seemingly simple Pokemon, suggests a profound difference from the animal kingdom we know. Is it a universal trait bestowed upon them by some ancient power, or has their evolution taken a path that prioritizes mental and emotional development alongside their physical forms? The gentle hum of this question often settles in the background as we observe the everyday interactions between humans and Pokemon, a quiet acknowledgement of a deeper, more intricate reality at play. Then there are the Pokemon abilities themselves, those wondrous powers that defy the laws of physics and often logic. A Pikachu's ability to generate immense electrical currents, a Charizard's power to breathe scorching flames, a psychic type's capacity for telekinesis or telepathy. These are not merely biological functions. They often seem to tap into an energetic or even spiritual dimension. Is there an unseen energy field that permeates the Pokemon world, a source from which these abilities are drawn and manifest? The consistent nature of these abilities across species, with certain types sharing similar powers, hints at a structured system, a hidden framework that governs their existence. It's not a chaotic burst of magic, but a regulated expression of power, almost as if the very fabric of their world is woven with these extraordinary energies. Consider also the phenomenon of evolution, not just the biological sense, but the transformation that Pokemon undergo when they reach a certain level of experience or fulfill specific conditions. This isn't merely growth, it's a complete metamorphosis, often altering their physical form, their abilities, and sometimes even their personality. What triggers this profound change? Is it a surge of internal energy, a genetic shift, or perhaps a connection to a deeper, universal consciousness that guides their development? The gentle glow that envelops a Pokemon during evolution, the dramatic shift in its silhouette, these are visual metaphors for a process far more intricate than meets the eye. It speaks of potential realized, of a preordained path that each Pokemon follows, a journey of self-discovery woven into their very being. And what of the connection between trainers and their Pokemon? The unshakable bond, the shared understanding that transcends words, the ability of a trainer's emotions to influence their Pokemon's strength. These are not merely anecdotal observations. They are fundamental aspects of the Pokemon world. Is there a psychic link, an empathetic resonance, or perhaps a more profound spiritual connection that allows for such deep communication and mutual influence? The quiet dedication of a trainer, the unwavering loyalty of a Pokemon, these are testaments to a relationship that goes beyond companionship, hinting at a shared destiny, a symbiotic existence that elevates both human and Pokemon. It's a gentle whisper of interconnectedness, suggesting that perhaps all life, in its deepest essence, is bound by invisible threads of energy and understanding. The very concept of Poké Balls themselves harbors a quiet enigma. The seemingly simple devices, capable of shrinking and containing even the largest and most powerful Pokemon, operate on principles that remain largely unexplained. Is it a technological marvel, harnessing unknown energies, or does it tap into a more mystical aspect of the Pokemon world, perhaps a dimension of condensed energy or space? The soft click as a Pokeball opens and closes, the gentle red light that envelops a Pokemon upon capture. These are familiar sights, yet they mask a profound secret. They represent a mastery over fundamental forces, a harmonious blend of science and something beyond, allowing humans and Pokemon to journey together, bridging the gap between wild nature and human companionship. Even the phenomenon of legendary and mythical Pokemon, while often celebrated for their immense power and unique roles in creation, carry their own subtle mysteries beyond their grand narratives. While their existence is often tied to ancient prophecies or cosmic events, the precise nature of their powers, their motivations, and their continued influence on the world remains a subject of gentle speculation. Are they truly immortal, or do they exist on a different plane of existence? Do they observe humanity with benevolent interest, or do they merely maintain the balance of the world from a detached perspective? The quiet contemplation of these majestic beings, their silent watch over the world, evokes a sense of deep respect and wonder, a reminder that there are forces at play far beyond human comprehension, guiding the currents of existence with an unseen hand. Consider also the various regions of the Pokemon world, each with its unique climate, geography, and indigenous Pokemon. While some geographical features might be explained by conventional geology, the sheer diversity in the often fantastical landscapes suggest a world shaped not just by tectonic plates and weather patterns, but by a more profound, perhaps even mystical, influence. The serene beauty of a mountainous region, the lush vibrancy of a forest, the shimmering expanse of an ocean, these are not merely backdrops, but living environments, each with its own subtle energy, its own unique pulse. Do the legendary Pokemon of a region influence its very nature, or are they born from its unique essence? The gentle ebb and flow of these regional differences, the distinct character of each land, contributes to the rich tapestry of the Pokemon world, a world where every corner holds a new secret, a new wonder to behold. Even the passage of time itself in the Pokemon world holds a gentle ambiguity. While days and nights clearly pass and seasons change, The sense of a grand historical timeline beyond ancient legends often remains indistinct. How old is the Pokemon world? How long have humans and Pokemon coexisted in their current forms? The ancient ruins, the forgotten texts as the echoes of past civilizations, these are fragments of a history that invites quiet musing, a gentle unfolding of events that have shaped the world into what it is today. It's not a history of grand conquests and empires, but a more subtle record of interaction, of adaptation, of the enduring spirit of life evolving and thriving through countless cycles. The recurring themes of conservation and environmental balance, often subtly woven into the anime's narratives, speak to an inherent wisdom within the Pokemon world. The understanding that disrupting the delicate balance of nature can have profound consequences, that respecting the environment is paramount. These are not merely moral lessons, but reflections of a deeper truth embedded within the world itself. The gentle rustle of leaves in a protected forest, the clear flow of a pristine river, the vibrant life within a thriving ecosystem. These are not just scenes, but gentle affirmations of the importance of harmony, of living in concert with the natural world. It's a quiet testament to the interconnectedness of all things, a gentle reminder that even the smallest action can ripple through the vast web of life. And finally, perhaps the most profound and encompassing mystery is the very nature of consciousness and spirit within the Pokemon world. The ability of certain Pokemon to communicate telepathically, to perceive emotions, to even influence dreams, suggests a spiritual dimension that extends beyond mere biological function. Are all Pokemon connected by a universal consciousness, a collective spirit that binds them together? Does their essence persist after their physical form fades, or do they return to a primal energy source? The gentle glow of a ghost-type Pokemon, the ethereal presence of a psychic type, these are not just visual effects, but subtle hints at a deeper reality, a world where the boundaries between the physical and the spiritual are gently blurred. It's a comforting thought, suggesting that life in the Pokemon world is not merely a fleeting existence, but a continuous journey, a gentle dance of energy and spirit that permeates every aspect of their enchanting realm. These gentle mysteries, these quiet questions, are not meant to be definitively answered, but to be cradled in the mind, allowing the imagination to wander freely, to explore the boundless possibilities of a world so rich, so kind, so full of unspoken wonders. And as these thoughts softly float and mingle, the mind, unburdened by the demands of waking life, finds itself gently drawn into the deep, restorative embrace of sleep, where the dreams themselves may become a continuation of this peaceful journey through the wondrous, quiet mysteries of the Pokemon world. The gentle hum of the world, a soft symphony of unseen forces, continues to resonate through the very fabric of the Pokemon universe, inviting a deeper, more tranquil contemplation. Consider, for instance, the quiet enigma of evolution itself. Beyond the dramatic transformations we witness, the dazzling light and changing form, lies a more profound mystery. The inherent drive, the subtle spark within each Pokemon that compels this metamorphosis. Is it a genetic blueprint alone, or is there an element of will, a conscious yearning for change that guides their development? The understated patience of a caterpie awaiting its cocoon, the slow, deliberate growth of a larvitar into a tyranitar. These are not just biological processes, but perhaps a gentle unfolding of destiny, an internal rhythm guiding each creature towards its fullest potential. The unhurried pace of these transformations, often requiring sustained effort and deep connection with a trainer, suggests a spiritual component, a journey of self discovery woven into the very DNA of these beings. It's a quiet testament to the idea that growth is not always instantaneous, but a gradual, often introspective passage. Then there is the quiet phenomenon of shiny Pokémon, those rare and shimmering variants that appear with such infrequency. Are they merely a statistical anomaly, a random deviation in color pigmentation, or do they hold a deeper, unspoken significance? Their scarcity suggests a specialness, a unique energy that manifests in their altered hues. Some theories whisper of a subtle connection to the rare elements of the world, perhaps absorbing unique energies from specific environments, or even being touched by a fleeting cosmic event. The thrill of encountering one, that sudden, unexpected glint of an unusual color in the wild, is not just about rarity. It evokes a sense of wonder, a quiet realization that even within the familiar, there exist subtle, breathtaking variations. It's a gentle reminder that the world holds countless hidden treasures, waiting to be discovered by those with the patience and keen eye to perceive them. And what of the quiet, enduring bond between Pokemon and their trainers? It transcends mere companionship or utility. It's a deep, unspoken understanding, a connection forged through shared experiences, challenges, and triumphs. How does this bond truly form? Is it simply affection, or is there a genuine merging of spirits, a synchronization of intentions and emotions that allows them to act as one? The silent communication between a Pikachu and Ash, the intuitive understanding of a Lucario sensing its trainer's emotions, these are not merely learned behaviors, but suggest an inherent capacity for empathy and connection that runs deeper than spoken words. It's a gentle reflection of the powerful, transformative nature of unconditional love and trust, a bond that empowers both trainer and Pokemon to achieve feats they could not accomplish alone. This quiet mutual respect, this unspoken loyalty, is one of the most heartwarming and enduring mysteries of the Pokemon world. Consider also the gentle yet profound influence of certain locations within the Pokemon world. Ancient ruins, serene forests, towering mountains. These places often possess an undeniable aura, a palpable sense of history and power that seems to resonate within the very air. Is it merely the passage of time, or are these places imbued with a residual energy, a lingering spiritual essence from events long past? The quiet stillness of a sacred grove, the echoing silence within a forgotten temple, these are not just empty spaces, but seem to hold memories, whispers of ancient Pokemon and their revered deeds. They are places that invite contemplation, places where one can almost feel the presence of the past, gently guiding the present. It's a quiet acknowledgement that the land itself holds stories, that the environment is not passive, but a living, breathing entity with a memory and a subtle influence on those who dwell within it. And then there's the pervasive, yet often unremarked upon, presence of technology in the Pokemon world. While seemingly advanced, with devices like Poké Balls and Porygon, there's a gentle integration of this technology with nature rather than a jarring contrast. How did this technological progress come about? Was it a gradual, organic development, or were there moments of sudden, profound innovation? And how does it coexist so harmoniously with the wild, untamed aspects of the world? The quiet efficiency of a Pokemon Center, the gentle hum of a Poké Ball as it captures a creature. These are technological marvels, yet they feel organic, almost natural. It's a subtle suggestion that perhaps technology in this world is not about conquering nature, but understanding and complementing it, a gentle extension of the natural order rather than a disruption. This quiet balance between innovation and tradition, between progress and preservation, is a testament to a society that seems to value harmony above all else. Let us also ponder the unhurried, cyclical nature of the Pokemon world's weather patterns and natural phenomena. The gentle rhythm of seasons, the occasional dramatic appearance of a legendary Pokemon influencing storms or tides. Are these purely meteorological, or are they subtly guided by larger, unseen forces? The whispered legends of Groudon and Kyogre shaping continents and seas, or Rayquaza calming their tumultuous battles, suggest an intrinsic connection between these powerful beings and the very ecology of the planet. These are not merely stories, they hint at a deeper, more spiritual understanding of the elemental forces, a gentle acknowledgement that nature itself is animated by powerful, conscious entities. The wind whispering through ancient trees, the gentle ebb and flow of the ocean tides. These are not random occurrences, but perhaps a cosmic dance, a continuous interplay of energies orchestrated by forces beyond human comprehension. It's a comforting thought, suggesting that even the most immense natural events have an underlying purpose, a gentle hand guiding their grand design. The very concept of happiness and contentment within the Pokemon world is another quiet mystery. What truly makes a Pokemon happy? Is it simply good care, nutritious food, and training? Or is there a deeper emotional and psychological need that must be met? The gentle purr of a contented Meowth, the joyful bark of a playful Growlithe, these expressions of happiness are palpable, but their source is profound. The idea of friendship evolution, where a Pokemon evolves not through battle or stone, but through deep affection and trust, speaks volumes. It suggests that emotional well-being is not just a pleasant byproduct, but a fundamental driving force in the lives of these creatures. It's a quiet affirmation that kindness, empathy, and genuine connection are among the most powerful forces in this enchanting world. The gentle warmth of a Pokemon leaning into its trainer's touch, the silent understanding exchanged between them, these are moments of pure, unadulterated joy that resonate deeply. And finally, as our peaceful contemplation draws to a close, let us gently consider the persistent yet elusive presence of ancient Pokemon. Fossils brought back to life, legendary creatures awakening from long slumbers. These events bridge vast spans of time, connecting the present with the primordial past. What lessons do these ancient beings carry? Do they hold forgotten knowledge, whispers of a world entirely different from our own? The quiet majesty of an Aerodactyl soaring overhead, the serene power of a Reshiram or Zekrom, ancient guardians of truth and ideals. Their very existence is a gentle reminder of the enduring nature of life, of cycles of existence far grander than our own. They are living relics, quiet witnesses to epics unimaginable, carrying within them the echoes of creation itself. Their reemergence is not just a scientific marvel, but a profound spiritual connection to the origins of the world, a gentle whisper from the dawn of time. These gentle mysteries, these quiet questions that linger at the edges of our understanding, are not meant to disturb or perplex. Instead, they are meant to foster a sense of serene wonder, to invite the mind to wander softly through the boundless landscapes of imagination and contemplation. They are like the soft glow of moonlight on a calm lake, illuminating just enough to evoke curiosity, but allowing the vast depths to remain in peaceful shadow. As these thoughts drift and settle, like soft autumn leaves falling onto a quiet forest floor, the mind finds itself in a state of tranquil readiness. The gentle cadence of these unanswered questions, those hints of deeper truths, serves to lull the conscious mind, allowing the subconscious to embrace the restorative peace of sleep. And in that sleep, perhaps, the dreams themselves may carry forward these quiet musings, weaving them into narratives of their own, where the gentle mysteries of the Pokémon world continue to unfold in the soft, silent theater of the dreaming mind. The boundless kindness, the profound interconnectedness, the enduring spirit of harmony. These are the gentle truths that ultimately define this wondrous realm, and it is with these comforting thoughts that one can drift into the deepest, most peaceful slumber. And as we rest in this serene embrace, let us allow our thoughts to drift further into the subtle nuances that color the Pokémon world, touching upon those elements that, while perhaps less dramatic than ancient legends, nonetheless contribute to its profound allure and depth. Consider for a moment the enigmatic nature of certain Pokémon communication beyond the simple cries and calls. While many Pokémon exhibit clear, understandable vocalizations that convey emotions or intentions, there are instances where their communication seems to transcend our immediate comprehension, hinting at a more complex, perhaps even telepathic form of interaction. Think of the subtle ripples of understanding that pass between a trainer and their Pokémon during a battle, often without a single spoken word, a silent choreography of trust and instinct. Is this merely years of shared experience, or is there an innate, almost spiritual connection that allows for such profound, unspoken dialogue? The gentle nods, the subtle shifts in posture, the almost imperceptible changes in expression, these are all parts of a silent language, a secret shared between beings who have forged an unbreakable bond. Then there are those Pokémon whose very existence seems to defy conventional understanding of communication altogether. Pokémon like the Unown, whose forms are said to represent letters of an alphabet, and whose collective presence can warp reality, suggest a form of communication that is not just verbal or emotional, but existential. What do the Unown truly communicate when they gather? Is it a language of pure thought, a collective consciousness manifesting in tangible form? Their scattered appearances, often in ancient ruins or places of deep historical significance, imply a connection to forgotten knowledge, to truths that are communicated not through sound, but through presence, through the very fabric of existence itself. This subtle dance of silent communication adds another layer of gentle mystery, inviting us to ponder the myriad ways in which life expresses itself far beyond the confines of human language. And speaking of ancient places, let us gently turn our attention to the many ruins and forgotten temples that scattered across the Pokémon world, each whispering tales of civilizations long past. These crumbling structures are not merely picturesque backdrops, They are repositories of history, silent guardians of secrets. What were the peoples who built them like? What were their beliefs, their customs, their relationship with the Pokemon that surrounded them? We often see engravings and carvings depicting legendary Pokemon, suggesting a deep reverence, perhaps even worship, of these powerful beings. Did these ancient societies live in greater harmony with nature, with the Pokemon world, than perhaps modern civilizations do? The intricate patterns on temple walls, the faded murals depicting grand events, the scattered artifacts that hint at forgotten technologies or rituals, all those elements paint a gentle yet compelling picture of a past that is both familiar and utterly alien. Consider the gentle mystery of the ancient kingdom of the Vale, a place spoken of in legends, a kingdom that once flourished alongside the mythical Pokemon Deontay. The stories suggest a time of unparalleled beauty and harmony where humans and Pokemon coexisted in a delicate balance, sustained by the heart diamond. What led to the eventual decline of such a utopia? Was it a natural catastrophe, a gradual societal shift, or something more profound, a loss of the very essence that sustained its peace? These narratives, though often fragmented and passed down through generations, offer a gentle glimpse into the cyclical nature of civilizations, reminding us that even the most flourishing societies are subject to change, to the inexorable flow of time. And what about the phenomenon of regional variance? Those Pokemon whose appearances and even types have subtly altered over generations due to environmental pressures or isolation. While seemingly a straightforward biological adaptation, there's a gentle mystery in contemplating the specific evolutionary paths that led to these distinct forms. Why did certain species adapt so drastically in one region while remaining largely unchanged in others? What subtle differences in climate, diet, or predator prey relationships encourage such profound transformations? The Alolan Vulpix, with its icy fur and gentle demeanor, a stark contrast to its fiery Kanto counterpart, speaks of a long history of adaptation, a quiet testament to the resilience and adaptability of life. Each regional variant is a living fossil of sorts, a gentle reminder of countless generations of subtle changes, of life finding new ways to thrive in diverse environments. They are like different dialects of the same ancient language, each unique yet fundamentally connected, telling a quiet story of patience and perseverance. Let us also ponder the subtle yet profound impact of certain environmental phenomena within the Pokemon world. Beyond the dramatic weather patterns controlled by legendary Pokemon, there are more localized yet equally mysterious occurrences. The soft, shimmering light that sometimes emanates from certain caves, said to attract specific Pokemon, or the unusual blooms of flowers that only appear under rare celestial alignments. These gentle oddities hint at a deeper, perhaps magical connection between the environment and the Pokemon that inhabit it, a symbiotic relationship that we are only beginning to understand. Is there a subtle energy field, an almost imperceptible aura that influences these occurrences? The quiet glow of a full moon reflecting on a tranquil lake, sometimes said to empower certain psychic-type Pokemon, or the gentle hum of an ancient forest, where grass-type Pokemon seem to thrive with unusual vigor. These are not merely coincidences, but rather subtle threads woven into the intricate tapestry of the Pokemon ecosystem. And what of the gentle evolution of technology within this world? While we see advanced devices like Poké Balls and Porygon, there are also instances of technology that seems almost organic, intertwined with the natural world in ways that defy our own scientific understanding. Consider the ancient energy sources, often depicted as glowing crystals or natural geysers of power that seem to fuel certain ancient contraptions or even empower legendary Pokemon. There's a subtle beauty in this blend of the natural and the artificial, suggesting a path for technological advancement that is not at odds with nature, but rather in gentle harmony with it. The quiet hum of a device powered by a natural energy source rather than a polluting fossil fuel offers a serene vision of a future where innovation and ecological balance coexist. As we gently delve deeper, let us consider the subtle psychological impact of Pokemon on their trainers and vice versa. Beyond the obvious companionship and emotional support, there are instances where the bond seems to transcend mere affection, influencing personalities and even destinies. A timid trainer might find courage through their bold Pokemon, while an overly aggressive Pokemon might learn gentleness from a patient human companion. This gentle mirroring, this quiet exchange of traits, speaks to the profound interconnectedness of living beings. The unwavering loyalty of a Pokemon during a difficult time, the silent understanding that passes between them. These are the subtle forces that shape character, that forge resilience, and that ultimately define the human Pokemon relationship. It's a quiet dance of mutual growth, a continuous feedback loop where each learns from the other, becoming better versions of themselves through shared experiences and challenges. And in this gentle contemplation, let us not forget the simple yet profound act of kindness that permeates the Pokemon world. From a trainer helping a lost Pokemon find its way home, to a wild Pokemon offering aid to a struggling human, these acts of selfless compassion are woven into the very fabric of existence. They are the quiet moments that truly define the spirit of this world, showcasing a fundamental goodness that transcends species, reminding us that empathy and understanding are universal virtues. The gentle nudge of a Snorlax comforting a worried child, the soft purr of a Meowth rubbing against a lonely traveler. These small gestures of warmth and connection are the true treasures of this realm, far more valuable than any rare Pokemon or powerful artifact. They are the silent hymns of harmony, sung not with voices, but with actions, with hearts open to the well-being of others. Finally, as our journey through these gentle mysteries softly concludes, let us embrace the overarching theme of interconnectedness that underpins every aspect of the Pokemon world. From the smallest blade of grass to the most powerful legendary Pokemon, every element is subtly linked, forming a vast, intricate web of life. The fate of one often influences the fate of many, and the health of the ecosystem is inextricably tied to the well-being of its inhabitants. This gentle truth, this quiet understanding of mutual dependence, is perhaps the most profound lesson the Pokemon world offers. It teaches us that true strength lies not in isolation, but in unity, not in dominance, but in harmony. And it is with this comforting thought, this tranquil realization of belonging to something much larger and more beautiful than ourselves, that we can gently surrender to the quiet embrace of sleep, carrying these serene contemplations into the peaceful landscapes of our dreams. The gentle rustle of leaves, the distant cry of a noctowl, the soft glow of moonlight. These are the lullabies of a world that forever invites us to wonder, to connect, and to find peace in its boundless, gentle mysteries. And so, as the world of Pokemon drifts into the quiet hush of night, we can reflect on the delicate balance that maintains its existence. Consider the subtle energies that flow through the land, unseen yet profoundly impactful. The very ground beneath our feet, teeming with life both visible and microscopic, hums with an almost imperceptible rhythm. This rhythm is influenced by the Pokemon that inhabit it, their movements, their abilities, even their mere presence, contributing to the grand symphony of the natural world. Think of the way a grass-type Pokemon might enrich the soil, fostering growth with its innate connection to plant life, or how a water-type Pokemon might purify a flowing stream, ensuring its clarity and vitality for all creatures that depend on it. These are not merely fantastical abilities, they are reflections of a deeper, fundamental truth about ecological interdependence. The Pokemon world, in its deepest layers, functions as a living, breathing organism where each part plays an indispensable role. Even the seemingly destructive powers of certain Pokemon, like the volcanic eruptions stirred by a Groudon or the swirling storms summoned by a Kyogre, are often, in the grand scheme of things, acts of rebalancing, shaping the landscape and creating new opportunities for life to flourish. These elemental forces, while formidable, are not chaotic. They are part of a larger ancient cycle, a dance between creation and transformation that has been unfolding since time immemorial. The legends speak of these colossal Pokemon not as mere monsters, but as primordial forces, whose very existence dictates the fundamental characteristics of the world itself. To gaze upon such a legend, even in our imaginations, is to touch upon the very origins of existence, to feel the ancient pulse of the planet. And then there are the mysteries that linger, like shadows in the deepening twilight, inviting quiet contemplation without demanding answers. The nature of a Pokemon's dream, for instance. Do they dream of battles fought and won, of favorite berries found, or do their dreams delve into realms of collective consciousness, echoing the dreams of their species for generations? The occasional glimpses we get, perhaps through a Drowsy's psychic abilities or a Musharna's dream mist, are mere fragments, tantalizing hints at an internal world as rich and complex as our own. Imagine the dreams of a slumbering Snorlax, perhaps filled with endless fields of fragrant berries, or the silent, soaring dreams of a sleeping Pidgeot, its spirit still tracing invisible currents high above the clouds. These are not questions that require definitive solutions, but rather invitations to wonder, to expand our empathy beyond the confines of our own experience. Consider also the enduring enigma of Pokemon communication. While we often hear them utter their names, or variations thereof, this is clearly a simplified translation for our human understanding. What is the true language of Pokemon? Is it a complex interplay of cries, body language, and even subtle energetic signals that we, with our limited senses, can only partially perceive? The bond between a trainer and their Pokemon often transcends verbal language, reaching a level of intuitive understanding, a silent dialogue of trust and affection. This suggests that the true means of communication are far more profound, rooted in shared emotion and a deep, almost telepathic connection that strengthens over time. It's a testament to the power of nonverbal cues, of the unspoken understanding that forms the bedrock of meaningful relationships, whether between humans or across species. And as the last rays of light fade from the horizon, let us ponder the elusive concept of a Pokemon's soul. Is it distinct from its physical form? Does it persist beyond evolution, retaining memories and personality through radical transformations? The stories of Pokemon returning as ghosts or the lingering presence of beloved companions suggest a spiritual dimension that transcends the purely biological. This notion adds a layer of profound meaning to their existence, suggesting that each Pokemon is not just a collection of cells and abilities, but a unique spirit, a consciousness that contributes to the vibrant tapestry of the world. It's a comforting thought, a gentle reassurance that the bonds forged are not merely fleeting, but perhaps endure in ways we cannot fully comprehend, whispering across the veil of existence. The ancient ruins that dot the Pokemon landscape also hold their silent stories, untouched by the passage of countless years. Who built them? For what purpose were they constructed? The symbols, etched into their weathered stones, often hint at forgotten civilizations, at powerful, mystical practices, and perhaps even at a time when the line between human and Pokemon was even more blurred, a time of deeper reverence and magical understanding. These ruins are not just piles of old stones, they are time capsules, preserving echoes of a distant past, inviting us to imagine the lives and beliefs of those who walked these lands long before us. They are a gentle reminder of the cyclical nature of existence, of civilizations rising and falling, and of the enduring mysteries that outlast even the grandest empires. Then there are the rare and mystical items, like the legendary Eon flute that summons Latias and Latios, or the various megastones that unlock hidden potentials. Are these simply artifacts, or are they imbued with a mystical energy, a forgotten science, or even a form of consciousness that allows them to interact with the Pokemon world in such profound ways? Their origins are often shrouded in myth, passed down through generations as whispers and legends, suggesting a connection to ancient powers and forgotten knowledge. They are not merely tools, but conduits, channels through which the extraordinary can manifest, allowing us to glimpse the deeper magic that underpins the fabric of reality. Consider the phenomenon of a Pokemon's ability, those unique traits that define their combat style and often their very nature. How did these abilities come to be? Are they adaptations over countless generations, or are they inherent, almost magical properties that are simply part of their being? The way a Pokemon like Levitate can effortlessly defy gravity, or static can paralyze with a touch, speaks to a fundamental connection to the elemental forces of the world, a mastery over aspects of reality that we can only dream of. They are not just biological functions, they are expressions of a deeper intrinsic power, a harmonious integration with the very laws of physics and energy that govern their world. The vastness of the Pokemon world itself, with its diverse biomes and unique ecosystems, presents its own quiet marvel. From the fiery depths of volcanic caverns to the serene tranquility of moonlit forests, each region possesses its own distinct character, shaped by the Pokemon that call it home, and in turn shaping them. This intricate web of life, where every species plays a role in maintaining the delicate balance, is a testament to the boundless creativity of nature. It's a world that encourages exploration, not just for the thrill of discovery, but for the profound understanding that comes from witnessing the sheer diversity and interconnectedness of life. Each landscape is a story waiting to be told, a quiet invitation to wander and observe. And as we delve deeper into these gentle contemplations, let us not overlook the enduring presence of the Pokemon Professor, a figure who embodies the spirit of curiosity and scientific inquiry within this magical world. Their tireless efforts to catalog, understand, and protect Pokemon are a testament to the human desire to comprehend the unknown, to unravel the mysteries that surround us. They are the quiet guardians of knowledge, their laboratories and research stations serving as beacons of light in the vast ocean of unanswered questions. Their work is a gentle reminder that even in a world brimming with magic and wonder, the pursuit of understanding through careful observation and a thirst for knowledge remains a noble and essential endeavor. Finally, as the last vestiges of thought begin to recede and the gentle currents of sleep draw ever closer, let us embrace the ultimate mystery, the boundless capacity for connection that defines the Pokemon experience. It is not just about battling or collecting or even understanding, but about the profound, often unspoken bond that forms between trainer and Pokemon. This connection transcends species, culture, and even language, speaking to a universal longing for companionship, for mutual respect, and for shared adventures. It is this fundamental truth, this gentle whisper of shared journey and unwavering loyalty, that allows us to drift peacefully into the realm of dreams, carrying the warmth of these connections with us, knowing that in the quiet landscape of our minds, the spirit of Pokemon will always reside, a comforting presence, a gentle guide, as we surrender to the embrace of a truly restful sleep. The soft glow of a distant Pokestar, the gentle murmur of a nearby stream, these are the final, soothing sounds of a world that forever invites us to dream. And as the starlight filters through the canopy of ancient trees, casting long, dancing shadows, we turn our gentle attention to the enigmatic origins of individual Pokemon species, a topic shrouded in the soft mist of ancient legends and scientific speculation. For instance, consider the curious case of Magnemite and Magneton. These metallic Pokemon, often found in power plants or areas rich in magnetism, present a fascinating puzzle. Are they truly living organisms in the traditional sense, or are they constructs that have somehow gained sentience through prolonged exposure to electromagnetic fields? The Pokédex entries, while offering tantalizing clues, never fully resolve this question. Some entries suggest they descended from otherworldly beings, perhaps meteorites imbued with an unusual magnetic energy, while others imply a more terrestrial, yet still mysterious genesis. The way multiple Magnemite can spontaneously combine to form a Magneton further complicates this picture, blurring the lines between individual life and collective entity. It's a gentle reminder that life in the Pokemon world can take forms far beyond our conventional understanding, challenging our preconceived notions of what it means to be alive. Then there's the captivating mystery surrounding Porygon, Porygon 2, and Porygon Z. These Pokemon are explicitly artificial, digital constructs created by humans. Porygon was developed by Sylph CoH using cutting-edge programming designed to traverse cyberspace freely. Porygon 2 is an upgraded version, boasting enhanced artificial intelligence and the ability to learn. Porygon Z, however, represents a more experimental and perhaps flawed evolution intended for interdimensional travel but often behaving erratically. The mystery here isn't their artificial origin, but rather their classification as Pokémon. If a Pokémon is typically considered a natural creature, how do these digital entities fit into the established biological framework? Are they simply tools that have achieved a level of sentience that warrants the Pokémon designation? Or does their existence suggest a broader definition of life within this world, one that encompasses not just organic forms, but also highly advanced artificial intelligences? It's a quiet contemplation on the nature of being, a soft whisper of the future, where the boundaries between the natural and the artificial might blur into an indistinguishable yet harmonious whole. The very notion of a Pokémon evolving through software upgrades rather than biological mutation is a profound departure from the norm, inviting us to ponder the diverse pathways life can take. And let us not forget the profound, almost spiritual connection many Pokémon share with ancient artifacts and locations. Take, for example, the Unown. These mysterious hieroglyphic-like Pokémon appear to be living letters, capable of affecting reality when gathered in large numbers, as seen in the events surrounding the spell of the Unown. Their very existence seems tied to ancient ruins and forgotten languages, suggesting a deep, almost primordial link to the history of the Pokémon world itself. Are they messengers from a bygone era, or perhaps the very building blocks of an ancient, forgotten language that once held immense power? Their presence often precedes or accompanies phenomena that defy conventional explanation, leaving a trail of quiet wonder and unanswered questions in their wake. The precise nature of their connection to human thought and emotion, their ability to manifest dreams into reality, remains a profound mystery, a gentle tap on the door of the ethereal. Similarly, the legendary Pokémon Regirock, Regis, and Registeel, along with their leader Regigigas, are deeply entwined with ancient history and seismic events. These titans, seemingly crafted from primordial elements, are said to have been sealed away by humans long ago. Their reawakening often heralds significant shifts in the environment or the reemergence of forgotten powers. The question lingers: who created these colossal beings, and for what purpose? Were they guardians of the earth, or perhaps weapons of immense power used in ancient conflicts? If the intricate puzzles and riddles required to awaken them suggest a test of wisdom and reverence, a gentle challenge posed by a forgotten civilization. Their slow, deliberate movements and ancient power speak of a time long past, a silent testament to the enduring mysteries of the deep earth and the forces that shaped it. Then there are the Pokémon whose forms are directly influenced by human emotion and action, blurring the lines between external reality and internal experience. Consider the case of Rotom, a Pokémon composed of plasma that can possess various electronic appliances, gaining new forms and abilities in the process. Is Rotom truly a spirit or an energetic entity that simply finds a suitable host? Its playful yet mischievous nature adds another layer to its mystique. The very concept of a Pokémon deriving its power and form from human technology, much like a ghost might inhabit a house, suggests a subtle interplay between the natural world and the artificial constructs of humanity. It's a quiet reflection on the ways in which our own creations can become imbued with a life and spirit all their own, a gentle hum of electricity and sentience. And what of the various regional forms, such as Alolan Vulpix or Galarian Ponyta? These Pokemon, while sharing ancestry with their original counterparts, have adapted to vastly different environments, evolving unique appearances and types. While often attributed to environmental pressures, the cold of Alola influencing Vulpix's ice typing, for example, there's still a quiet wonder in the sheer diversity these adaptations produce. How swiftly do these changes occur, and what are the underlying genetic mechanisms that allow for such profound shifts within a single species across different regions? It's a gentle reminder of the constant dance of evolution, the subtle pressures that shape life into an endless array of forms, each perfectly suited to its unique niche. The vibrant hues of a Galarian Ponyta's mane, sparkling with psychic energy, speak to the magic that suffuses these adaptations, transforming the familiar into something entirely new and enchanting. Moving on to the intriguing concept of Pokemon that are believed to be formed from the spirits of the deceased, we encounter the poignant mystery of ghost-type Pokemon. Ghastly, Haunter, and Jengar, for instance, are often depicted as mischievous, even malevolent spirits. But are they truly the souls of departed beings, or are they entities that simply resemble our understanding of ghosts? The Pokédex often provides conflicting accounts, some suggesting they steal life force, others that they are beings of pure malice. Yet their interactions with humans can sometimes be surprisingly benign, even affectionate. This duality leaves a profound question. What is the true nature of their existence? Are they a testament to an afterlife in the Pokemon world, or are they simply a unique biological phenomenon that mimics spiritual concepts? The chilling touch of a ghastly, the disorienting laughter of a haunter. These experiences evoke a quiet contemplation on the veil between worlds, a soft rustle of leaves in a forgotten graveyard. Similarly, Pokemon like Yamask and Kofagrigus are explicitly linked to ancient human souls. Yamask is said to carry a mask that was its face when it was human, and it sometimes cries when looking at the mask. Kofagrigus is described as trapping people who come too close inside its sarcophagus-like body, turning them into mummies. These narratives plunge us into a deeper, more unsettling territory. If these Pokemon are indeed the reincarnated or transformed souls of humans, what does that imply about the cycle of life and death in the Pokemon world? Is it a continuous loop where consciousness can transition between species? It's a gentle yet profound whisper about the interconnectedness of all life, even beyond the boundaries of what we perceive as natural. The sorrowful gaze of a Yamask, carrying the burden of its past, is a silent testament to the enduring mysteries of existence. And then there's the pervasive, almost ubiquitous presence of Pokemon in human society. They are not merely wild animals, they are partners, colleagues, and often beloved family members. The question arises, how did this symbiotic relationship evolve? Was there a time when humans and Pokemon were entirely separate, or have their destinies always been intertwined? The ancient legends often depict powerful Pokemon as deities or primordial forces, suggesting a history where they held a more dominant, awe-inspiring role. Yet over countless generations, a bond of mutual respect and cooperation has formed, leading to the diverse societies we observe in the anime. This quiet evolution of companionship, from reverence to partnership, is a gentle narrative of shared growth and understanding, a soft melody of coexistence. Consider the role of legendary and mythical Pokémon, whose powers often shape the very fabric of the world. Arceus, the alpha Pokémon, is said to have created the entire Pokémon universe. Dialga and Palkia control time and space, respectively. Giratina presides over the distortion world, a realm of antimatter. These beings operate on a scale that transcends human comprehension, yet they occasionally interact with the human world, sometimes to prevent catastrophe, other times to test the mettle of exceptionally pure-hearted trainers. The sheer power they wield and the profound impact they have on the world raises questions about their true nature. Are they gods in the traditional sense, or simply incredibly powerful beings that fulfill cosmological roles? Their existence hints at a spiritual dimension to the Pokémon world, a quiet reverence for forces beyond our control, a gentle tremor of cosmic power. The very concept of a Pokémon world itself is a mystery steeped in wonder. Is it an alternate Earth, a parallel dimension, or an entirely distinct planet? The presence of familiar concepts like electricity, biology, and chemistry, alongside fantastical elements like elemental powers and interdimensional travel, creates a unique tapestry. The absence of traditional animals, replaced entirely by Pokémon, suggests a fundamental difference in the evolutionary history of this world. It's a quiet invitation to imagine a world where every creature, from the smallest caterpie to the largest waylord, possesses a unique power and an inherent connection to the natural forces around them. The gentle swaying of a blossom, the rhythmic chirping of a cricketune, these are the ambient sounds of a world entirely shaped by the wondrous diversity of its inhabitants. And as we delve into the more subtle, almost imperceptible mysteries, let's reflect on the psychic abilities of many Pokémon. From telekinesis to telepathy, precognition to mind control, these powers defy conventional scientific explanation. Pokémon like Alakazam, with its impossibly high IQ, or Mewtwo, a genetically engineered clone with unparalleled psychic might, demonstrate the immense potential of the mind. How do these powers work? Are they a form of energy manipulation, a direct connection to a universal consciousness, or something else entirely? The silent communication between a trainer and their psychic type Pokémon, the subtle shift in atmosphere when a powerful psychic ability is unleashed. These are the gentle whispers of a dimension beyond our immediate senses, a soft hum of mental energy. Finally, let us consider the ultimate mystery that underpins the entire Pokémon experience, the boundless capacity for connection. It is not merely about battling or collecting, but about the profound, often unspoken bond that forms between trainer and Pokémon. This connection transcends species, culture, and even language, speaking to a universal longing for companionship, for mutual respect, and for shared adventures. From Ash and Pikachu's unwavering loyalty to the quiet understanding between a seasoned trainer and their longtime partner, these bonds are the heart of the Pokémon world. This fundamental truth, this gentle whisper of shared journey and unwavering loyalty, allows us to drift peacefully into the realm of dreams, carrying the warmth of these connections with us. In the quiet landscape of our minds, the spirit of Pokémon will always reside, a comforting presence, a gentle guide, as we surrender to the embrace of a truly restful sleep. The soft glow of a distant Pokestar, the gentle murmur of a nearby stream. These are the final soothing sounds of a world that forever invites us to dream. The soft glow of a distant poke star, the gentle murmur of a nearby stream. These are the final soothing sounds of a world that forever invites us to dream. And as we settle into this peaceful quietude, let us turn our thoughts to another profound mystery, one that often eludes direct observation but profoundly impacts the very fabric of the Pokemon world, the nature of legendary and mythical Pokemon. These creatures are not merely rare or powerful, they are often depicted as embodiments of natural forces, cosmic principles, or even the very essence of creation itself. Consider Arceus, for instance, often referred to as the Alpha Pokemon, said to have created the entire Pokemon universe with its 1,000 arms. The lore surrounding Arceus suggests a being of unimaginable power, capable of shaping reality, yet it also exhibits a gentle, almost benevolent presence. How can one reconcile such immense power with the delicate balance of the world it presumably brought into being? Is Arceus an active participant in the ongoing drama of the Pokemon world, subtly nudging events, or is it a more distant, abstract force, its influence felt through the natural order it established? The plates it holds, which can change its type and imbue it with different elemental energies, further deepen this enigma. Are these artifacts of its power, or are they fragments of its very being, scattered across the cosmos, each representing a facet of its boundless creative energy? The soft hum of cosmic dust settling, the gentle sparkle of distant stars, these are the silent witnesses to the potential origins of all that is. Then there are the members of the creation trio: Dialga, the master of time; Palkia, the master of space; and Giratina, the master of antimatter and the distortion world. These three formidable beings govern the very dimensions of reality. The idea that time can be frozen, sped up, or reversed, and that space can be warped, expanded, or compressed speaks to a level of power that transcends our understanding of physics. In Giratina's domain, the distortion world, a realm where gravity is distorted and perspectives are inverted, offers a glimpse into an alternate dimension, a mirror image of our own, yet fundamentally different. What purpose does such a realm serve? Is it a prison, a refuge, or a necessary counterbalance to the order maintained by Dialga and Palkia? The gentle swirl of a nebula, the slow expansion of the universe, these are echoes of the immense cosmic dance these titans orchestrate. The subtle shifts in light and shadow, the almost imperceptible changes in temperature, all could be minute ripples from their distant actions. The legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, representing ice, lightning, and fire respectively, are often depicted as guardians of their respective elements, their very presence influencing weather patterns and natural phenomena. Their constant, often silent patrol of their territories maintains a delicate balance. What would happen if one of these forces were to be removed, or if their balance were to be disrupted? We have seen glimpses of such chaos, yet the world always seems to right itself, a testament to the resilience of nature and perhaps the subtle intervention of unseen forces. The crisp chill of a winter morning, the electrifying thrill of a summer storm, the comforting warmth of a crackling fire, these are the gentle reminders of their enduring power. Moving to the more mystical side, we encounter Pokemon like Mew, often considered the ancestor of all Pokemon, possessing the DNA of every known species. Its playful, elusive nature belies its profound significance. If Mew holds the genetic code for all Pokemon, does that imply a single common ancestor for all life in the Pokemon world? And if so, how did such a diverse array of creatures evolve from a single source? Its ability to learn any move further emphasizes its genetic versatility, almost suggesting a perfect, adaptable blueprint for life itself. The gentle rustle of leaves in an ancient forest, the faint echo of a distant whisper, these are the subtle hints of Mew's unquantifiable existence. And then there's the mystery of the various cataclysms and ancient civilizations that dot the Pokemon world's history. The ruins scattered across different regions, the hieroglyphs depicting ancient Pokemon alongside human figures, these suggest a rich and complex past, often marked by interactions with powerful legendary Pokemon. What caused these civilizations to rise and fall? Were they victims of their own ambition, or were they overwhelmed by natural disasters? Perhaps even those instigated by enraged legendary Pokemon. The gentle erosion of stone, the slow reclamation of nature, these are the quiet stories of forgotten empires. The silent passage of time, flowing like a gentle river, washes over these ancient truths, leaving only fragments for us to ponder. Consider the phenomenon of Dynamax and Gigantamax, introduced in the Galar region. Pokemon grow to immense sizes, their power amplified to an incredible degree, often changing their forms in unique ways. This power is drawn from wishing stars, fragments of energy believed to originate from outer space. What is the true nature of this energy? Is it a naturally occurring cosmic phenomenon, or is it a deliberate gift from a higher power? The gentle pulse of latent energy, the soft hum of power waiting to be unleashed, these are the subtle indicators of this extraordinary transformation. The very ground beneath our feet seems to vibrate with a barely perceptible tremor when such power is present. The existence of ultra beasts, beings from ultra space, another dimension entirely, opens up a whole new realm of questions. These creatures are not native to the Pokemon world and often possess bizarre, almost alien physiologies and behaviors. Their sudden appearances, tearing through ultra wormholes, pose a significant threat to the delicate balance of the ecosystem. What is ultra space? Is it an infinite void, or does it contain its own unique ecosystems and civilizations? The gentle shimmer of an open portal, the subtle shift in atmospheric pressure, these are the quiet harbingers of their arrival. The air itself feels different, charged with an unfamiliar energy when one of these interdimensional rifts opens. And what of the human-Pokemon relationship itself? While we often focus on the Pokemon, the humans in this world also exhibit remarkable resilience, ingenuity, and a deep respect for nature. From skilled trainers to dedicated researchers, from compassionate healers to adventurous explorers, humans and Pokemon coexist in a symbiotic relationship. How did this unique bond evolve? Was there a time when humans feared Pokemon, or did they always live in harmony? The gentle touch of a hand on a Pokemon's fur, the shared glance of understanding, these are the quiet affirmations of their enduring connection. The soft rhythm of shared breath, the gentle warmth of companionship, these deepen the mystery of how two such disparate species came to understand each other so profoundly. The concept of auras and life energy is also a recurring, yet largely unexplained element. Pokemon like Lucario can sense auras, and various moves and abilities are tied to the manipulation of life force. Is this a measurable form of energy, or is it a more spiritual, intangible concept? The gentle glow around a healthy Pokemon, the subtle shift in the air when a powerful aura is sensed, these are the quiet manifestations of this unseen force. It's a silent language, understood perhaps not with ears, but with an inner intuition. The sheer diversity of environments in the Pokemon world, from volcanic mountains to deep sea trenches, from arid deserts to lush rainforests, each supporting a unique array of Pokemon, speaks to an incredible ecological resilience. How do these ecosystems maintain their balance, and what role do Pokemon play in regulating them? The gentle rustle of wind through a vast plain, the slow trickle of water in a hidden cave, these are the soothing sounds of a world in constant, delicate motion. Each ecosystem, a complex web of life, operates with a silent efficiency, a testament to the intricate design of the world. And as we drift further into the realm of peaceful slumber, let us reflect on the profound influence of human legends and folklore within the Pokemon world. Many legendary Pokemon are deeply intertwined with ancient tales, prophecies, and historical events. Those stories, passed down through generations, often contain kernels of truth hidden within layers of myth and metaphor. How much of what we know about these legendary beings is fact, and how much is embellished storytelling? The gentle murmur of an old storyteller's voice, the soft glow of a flickering campfire, these are the timeless settings where these tales come alive. Each story, a gentle ripple on the surface of time, carries with it echoes of ancient truths. The very concept of evolution in the Pokemon world is also a fascinating mystery. While some Pokemon evolve through leveling up, others require specific stones, trade, or even a deep bond with their trainer. This diverse array of evolutionary triggers suggests a more complex process than simple biological adaptation. Is evolution in the Pokemon world a purely natural phenomenon, or are there underlying forces, perhaps even conscious influences, guiding these transformations? The gentle shimmer of an evolving Pokemon, the soft glow of an evolutionary stone, these are the visual cues of a process that defies easy explanation. It's a silent unfolding, a metamorphosis guided by unseen currents. Even the simple act of a Pokemon expressing emotions, joy, sadness, anger, fear, challenges our understanding of animal consciousness. Their ability to understand human speech, to form complex strategies in battle, and to exhibit empathy points to a level of intelligence and emotional depth that often mirrors our own. The gentle nuzzle of a loyal companion, the soft sigh of contentment, these are the quiet affirmations of their inner lives. It's a silent communion, a shared understanding that transcends the boundaries of species. And so, as we slowly descend into the tranquil depths of sleep, we carry with us these countless questions, these gentle mysteries that softly illuminate the Pokemon world. The unanswered queries, far from being unsettling, become a comforting blanket, a testament to the endless wonder and imaginative breadth of this beloved universe. The soft whisper of the wind through tall grass, the rhythmic cadence of a distant ocean wave, these are the lullabies of a world brimming with untold stories, a world that continually invites us to dream, to wonder, and to find solace in its gentle complexities. The quiet thrum of a world teeming with life, a symphony of unseen forces and unheard whispers, guides us gently into the embrace of a truly profound and restorative sleep. The very concept of Pokeballs themselves, those seemingly simple devices capable of containing creatures of immense power remains an enigma. How do they work? What technology allows for the shrinking and storing of a living being, maintaining its life force and even its psychological well being within such a confined space? Is it a form of advanced energy manipulation, a quantum entanglement, or something far more esoteric, perhaps drawing upon the very spiritual essence of the Pokemon itself? The gentle click of a Pokeball opening, the soft glow as a Pokemon emerges, these are familiar sights, yet the underlying mechanics are anything but. It's a silent magic, a technological marvel that has become so commonplace we often forget to question its inherent impossibility. Consider the legendary Pokemon, those beings of immense power and often cosmic significance. Arceus, said to have created the entire Pokemon world, exists in a realm beyond our full comprehension. Its power to shape reality, to bring forth life and matter, is a concept that verges on the divine, yet its true motivations, its ultimate purpose, remain shrouded in mystery. Is Arceus an active participant in the everyday lives of Pokemon and humans, or a distant, benevolent, or perhaps even indifferent observer? The soft hum of cosmic energy, the faint glimmer of starlight in the deepest void, these are the only hints we have of its true nature. It's a silent vigil, an ancient force that watches over all. Then there are creatures like Dialga and Palkia, masters of time and space respectively. Their existence reshapes the very fabric of reality. The concept of an entity capable of manipulating the flow of time, accelerating or reversing events, or even creating alternate timelines, is a truly mind-bending thought. And Palkia, with its dominion over space, able to compress distances or expand them infinitely, presents an equally profound challenge to our understanding of the universe. What prevents these beings from constantly altering our reality? Is there a cosmic balance, a natural law they are bound by, or is their restraint a matter of their own conscious choosing? The gentle tick-tock of a cosmic clock, the slow unfurling of infinite space, these are the silent orchestras of their immense power. It's a silent dance, a delicate equilibrium that maintains the order of the cosmos. The distortion world, home to Giratina, is another such profound mystery, a dimension antithetical to our own, where established laws of physics are inverted, gravity is a suggestion, and the very air feels wrong. What is its purpose? Is it a prison for Giratina, a natural byproduct of its immense power, or a crucial counterbalance to our own stable reality? The distorted whispers of an otherworldly wind, the unsettling shift of impossible geometries, these are the echoes of a place beyond our ken. It's a silent scream, a chaotic mirror reflecting an unknown truth. Even the phenomenon of shiny Pokemon, those rare and differently colored variants, holds a subtle mystery. Is it a genetic mutation, a random anomaly, or a deeper expression of their inherent energy, a subtle shift in their aura that manifests outwardly? The gentle shimmer of an unexpected hue, the soft gasp of surprise, these are the simple joys of encountering such a rare sight. It's a silent whisper of uniqueness, a deviation from the expected that delights and intrigues. The very existence of different regions within the Pokemon world, each with its unique ecosystem, culture, and often its own set of legendary Pokemon, also sparks curiosity. Are these regions merely continents on a single planet, or are they perhaps subtly different dimensions, separated by invisible veils, converging only at specific points, or through special means? The gentle rustle of leaves in a different forest, the distant cry of an unfamiliar Pokémon, these are the subtle hints of diverse worlds waiting to be explored. It's a silent invitation, a beckoning towards new adventures and untold stories. Consider the human connection to Pokemon, the profound bond that transcends mere pet ownership. Trainers and their Pokemon often share a level of understanding that borders on telepathy, anticipating each other's moves in battle, comforting each other in moments of sadness, and celebrating victories with joyous abandon. How is this connection forged? Is it purely emotional, a deep empathy, or is there a subtle psychic link, an unseen thread woven between their minds and hearts? The gentle touch of a comforting hand, the soft murmur of understanding, these are the quiet expressions of an unbreakable bond. It's a silent symphony, a harmonious blend of two souls. The ancient civilizations within the Pokemon world, hints of which are scattered throughout various regions, also offer tantalizing glimpses into a forgotten past. Ruins of elaborate temples, cryptic inscriptions, and legends of powerful artifacts suggest a rich history, perhaps even a golden age, where the relationship between humans and Pokemon was different, perhaps more intertwined, more mystical. What knowledge did these ancient people possess? What secrets did they unlock about the true nature of Pokemon and the universe itself? The gentle crumbling of ancient stones, the soft echo of long forgotten chants, these are the subtle reminders of a time lost to the mists of history. It's a silent testament, a whispered legacy of a more enigmatic era. The phenomenon of mega evolution, a temporary power up that allows certain Pokemon to achieve a heightened state, also presents a fascinating blend of science and mysticism. Requiring a special megastone and a strong bond with a trainer, it suggests an interaction between physical matter, spiritual energy, and emotional connection. Is it an unlocking of latent potential, a temporary return to an ancestral form, or a glimpse into a possible future evolutionary path? The gentle surge of power, the soft glow of transformation, these are the visual cues of a profound shift. It's a silent awakening, a temporary transcendence of ordinary limits. Even the concept of evil organizations, with their grand schemes to control legendary Pokemon or reshape the world, poses a question beyond simple villainy. What drives them to such extremes? Is it pure lust for power, a misguided belief in a better world, or a deeper, perhaps even corrupting influence from the very legendary Pokemon they seek to dominate? The gentle shifting of shadows, the faint murmur of sinister plots, these are the unsettling undertones of their ambitions. It's a silent struggle, a conflict between order and chaos that plays out in the hearts of both humans and Pokemon. The very act of battle, often portrayed as a sporting event, also carries a deeper, more primal resonance. While trainers strive for victory, the Pokemon themselves are often driven by an instinct to test their strength, to grow, and to protect their trainer. Is there a natural order to these battles? A subtle energy exchange that benefits both participants beyond mere experience points? The gentle clash of attacks, the soft panting of exertion, these are the sounds of a vibrant, living competition. It's a silent dialogue, a physical conversation that strengthens bonds and hones skills. The existence of ghost-type Pokemon, beings often associated with spirits and the afterlife, opens up profound questions about mortality and consciousness in the Pokemon world. Are they the lingering spirits, of deceased Pokemon, or perhaps even humans? Or are they a distinct species that simply embodies these spectral qualities? What is their connection to the realm beyond life? The gentle chill of a ghostly presence, the soft whisper of unseen movement, these are the subtle signs of their ethereal existence. It's a silent passage, a bridge between two worlds that remain largely unexplored. Even the simple act of foraging for berries or finding hidden items in the tall grass, a seemingly mundane activity, hints at a hidden abundance, a world constantly replenishing itself. Is this a natural cycle, or is there a subtle, unseen force, perhaps a benevolent legendary Pokemon, subtly influencing the proliferation of resources, ensuring the delicate balance of the ecosystem? The gentle rustle of leaves, the soft gleam of a discovered treasure, these are the quiet rewards of exploration. It's a silent generosity, a world that subtly provides for its inhabitants. The phenomenon of Pokémon Centers, those ubiquitous havens of healing and restoration, also holds an element of mystery. How do they so consistently and reliably heal even the most grievously injured Pokémon? Is it advanced medical technology, a specialized energy field, or a more spiritual, almost miraculous restoration process? The gentle glow of the healing machine, the soft sigh of relief from a recovered Pokemon, these are the comforting sights and sounds of a selfless service. It's a silent sanctuary, a place of renewal that defies easy scientific explanation. And as we drift further into the realm of slumber, these countless fascinating questions, these gentle enigmas, continue to swirl around us like an ethereal mist. The Pokemon world, in its deepest essence, is not just a collection of creatures and adventures, but a profound tapestry woven with threads of wonder, mystery, and untold possibility. The soft murmur of a hidden waterfall, the distant hoot of an owl, these are the gentle reminders that even in the deepest silence, the world around us is alive with unspoken stories and unseen marvels. It's a silent promise, a perpetual invitation to dream beyond the boundaries of what is known, to find comfort in the vastness of what remains undiscovered. The quiet hum of existence, the gentle pulse of the universe itself, cradles us now, drawing us deeper into the soft embrace of a truly peaceful and restorative sleep, where the mysteries of the Pokemon world continue to unfold in the landscape of our dreams. Each unanswered question becomes a gentle star in the vast cosmic night, twinkling softly, guiding us into a profound tranquility. The very act of evolution, that wondrous transformation that elevates a Pokemon to a new form, a new level of power, remains an astonishing marvel, a biological enigma shrouded in a gentle veil. Is it a sudden surge of genetic material, a pre-programmed metamorphosis triggered by experience, or perhaps a more subtle communion with the energy of the world, a blossoming of inherent potential guided by unseen forces? The soft shimmer of light that envelops a Pokemon during evolution, the graceful shift in its form, these are the visual cues of a profound internal change. It's a silent unfolding, a testament to the dynamic nature of life itself within this vibrant world. Even the seemingly straightforward concept of a Pokemon's type, fire, water, grass, electric, and so on, holds a deeper, more elemental mystery. Are these fundamental forces of nature given sentient form, or are they classifications created by humans to understand the diverse array of abilities and resistances? The crackle of an electric attack, the gentle flow of a water pulse. These are the expressions of these inherent types, demonstrating their power and their interconnectedness. It's a silent language of elements spoken throughout the land. Consider the phenomenon of a shiny Pokémon, that rare and often breathtaking variation in color, appearing almost as if touched by a different spectrum of light. Is this a random genetic mutation, a cosmic accident, or a subtle blessing from a benevolent entity, a whisper of individuality in a world of consistency? The soft gleam of an unexpected hue, the quiet thrill of discovery. These are the simple joys of encountering such a unique creature. It's a silent wonder, a testament to the exquisite beauty of rarity. And then we have the Poké Balls themselves, those ingenious devices capable of shrinking and containing even the largest and most powerful Pokémon, seemingly without causing them distress or discomfort. How do they achieve this astonishing feat of miniaturization and containment? Is it a form of advanced energy manipulation, a pocket dimension within their spherical confines, or a gentle, almost hypnotic suggestion that allows the Pokemon to rest peacefully within? The soft click as a Pokeball opens, the sudden appearance of a fully formed Pokemon, these are the everyday occurrences that mask a profound technological or even mystical secret. It's a silent marvel of engineering, or perhaps a silent magic. The existence of ancient ruins and forgotten civilizations scattered across the Pokemon world speaks to a history far deeper and more intricate than what is commonly understood. Who were these peoples? What knowledge did they possess? And why did their cultures ultimately decline? The silent stones, weathered by time, stand as mute witnesses to epics long past, hinting at grand narratives and forgotten wisdom. The gentle wind whistling through crumbling archways, the soft echo of footsteps in a deserted chamber, these are the subtle voices of history, whispering tales of what once was. It's a silent legacy, a perpetual invitation to piece together the fragments of a grander story. Even the simple act of a Pokemon learning a new move, especially those that seem to defy conventional logic, presents a fascinating puzzle. How does a creature instinctively grasp a complex technique, a powerful attack, or a subtle defensive maneuver, sometimes seemingly out of nowhere? Is it a deep-seated instinct, a rapid assimilation of experience, or a connection to a collective unconscious that imparts knowledge? The sudden flash of a new ability, the unexpected display of a learned skill, these are the quiet triumphs of a Pokemon's growth. It's a silent evolution of capability, a constant blossoming of potential. The legendaries and mythicals, those majestic and often singular beings, embody the very essence of power and mystery. Are they deities, primordial forces, or simply incredibly powerful and ancient Pokemon whose lives span millennia? Their presence often shapes the very fabric of the world, influencing weather patterns, geological formations, or even the flow of time itself. The gentle rumble of a distant earthquake, the soft glow of an aurora borealis, these can be seen as manifestations of their silent, profound influence. It's a silent stewardship, a watchful presence that underlies the natural order. The concept of friendship or happiness with a Pokemon, which influences their battle performance and even their evolution in some cases, is another subtle yet profound mystery. How does this emotional bond translate into tangible power or physical change? Is it a psychological effect, a subtle energy exchange, or a deeper, more spiritual connection that unlocks hidden potential. The gentle nuzzle of a loyal companion, the soft purr of contentment, these are the tangible expressions of an invisible bond. It's a silent understanding, a testament to the power of connection. Then there's the question of the Pokemon world's geography itself. While seemingly familiar with its towns and routes, the sheer diversity of biomes, from scorching deserts to frozen tundras, from ancient forests to volcanic islands, often exists in close proximity, defying conventional geological explanations. Is this a natural planetary phenomenon, a result of powerful legendary Pokemon shaping the land, or perhaps a more subtle manipulation of the environment by unseen forces? The gentle shift from a warm breeze to a cool gust as one crosses an invisible boundary, the subtle change in flora and fauna. These are the everyday experiences that hint at a deeper, more complex ecological tapestry. It's a silent landscape, constantly revealing new wonders. The very notion of human language and its apparent universality in the Pokemon world is also a curious point. How is it that trainers from vastly different regions, seemingly separated by vast oceans and diverse cultures, are almost always able to communicate seamlessly? Is there a universal translator technology, a common ancestral language, or a more subtle, almost telepathic understanding that transcends spoken words? The soft rhythm of dialogue, the gentle exchange of ideas, these are the everyday interactions that belie a deeper linguistic unity. It's a silent agreement, a shared foundation for communication. The phenomenon of move tutors, or TMs, and HMs, which allow Pokemon to learn specific moves outside of their natural leveling process, also presents an intriguing puzzle. How can a specific item or a brief interaction with a person instantly impart a complex skill to a Pokemon? Is it a form of direct neural programming, a catalyst for latent abilities, or a gentle unlocking of inherent knowledge present within all Pokemon? The gentle hum of a TM's machine, the soft glow around a Pokemon as it learns a new technique, these are the visual cues of a knowledge transfer that goes beyond simple instruction. It's a silent education, a constant expansion of a Pokemon's repertoire. And what of the concept of held items, which can boost a Pokemon's stats, alter its abilities, or even trigger evolutions? How do these seemingly inert objects possess such profound and consistent effects on the creatures that carry them? Is it a subtle energy field, a symbolic representation of a desired outcome, or a more direct magical enchantment imbued within the item itself? The gentle weight of a berry in a Pokemon's paw, the soft glint of a protective charm, these are the subtle influences that shape a Pokemon's destiny. It's a silent augmentation, a quiet whisper of power. The very concept of a bad egg in the Pokemon games, a corrupted or unhatchable egg that can sometimes appear due to glitches, remains a disturbing and unresolved mystery. What are these phantom eggs? What do they represent? And why do they sometimes plague a trainer's journey? They are a chilling reminder of the unknown, a gentle, unsettling presence in an otherwise orderly world. The soft, unsettling silence of an egg that will never hatch, the quiet frustration of an unresolvable anomaly. These are the rare but potent reminders of the inexplicable. It's a silent glitch, a shadow in the code of creation. Even the simple act of fishing, a tranquil pastime in the Pokemon world, holds a subtle layer of mystery. How do specific fishing rods consistently attract certain types of Pokemon from the water, and how do they manage to reel in creatures that are often much larger and stronger than the trainer themselves? Is it a specialized lure, a subtle vibrational frequency, or a gentle manipulation of the water's currents? The soft splash of the line, the gentle tug on the rod, these are the quiet moments of anticipation that often lead to surprising encounters. It's a silent invitation to the depths, a gentle probe into the aquatic unknown. The pervasive presence of Team Rocket and other villainous organizations throughout multiple regions and generations raises questions about their ultimate goals and the true extent of their influence. What drives their relentless pursuit of power, and how do they manage to operate with such extensive resources despite constant setbacks? The gentle hiss of a stolen Pokemon, the soft clatter of a thwarted plan, these are the recurring themes that highlight a persistent and elusive antagonist. It's a silent struggle, a perpetual dance between chaos and order. The gentle hum of the world continues, each element, each creature, each unexplained phenomenon swirling together to form a rich tapestry of wonder. We are but observers, drifting through this landscape of dreams, cradled by the soft embrace of the unknown, the quiet breath of the night, the gentle rhythm of our own hearts. These are the steady companions that guide us deeper into the realms of peace and restorative rest, where the mysteries of the Pokemon world continue to unfold in the silent theaters of our minds. Each gentle question, each whispered unknown becomes a further lullaby, drawing us into a profound and tranquil slumber, a sleep where the boundaries of possibility gently dissolve and the vast, beautiful expanse of the Pokemon world becomes our gentle dreamscape.